Hey guys, how's it going tonight? Oh my god, so I did a whole ass video on the lawsuit with 7M and KJ. I'm gonna throw this computer out the damn window. I'm telling you, it's fucking going. Like, oh. So I restarted my router. I even hooked my computer up to my router, and then I restarted it for this stream. If this doesn't work, it's going. It's going. Hey, Lori. Hey, Sayla. I put the link in if you want to come up. Hey, Ricky. Hey, Mama. Hey, Peace. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Crystal. Oh, you hate the smell and the taste and the texture. Hey, SD. Hey, Deb. Hey, Patty. Okay, I gotta go turn the heat down because this fucking thing don't work either. Oh, ow. Oh, gotta find my book. I am just having one hell of a day today. I'm telling you. There's a link whenever you're ready, Sela. There she is.
You hear me?
Hey, girl.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep. Shit, you gone again. No. Get back here. Yeah, we heard her, and then she's gone again. Hi, my future. Oh my gosh. Well, hello, my future ex-husband. It's kind of catchy, eh? Yeah, I'm having a hell of a day. So my computer wouldn't work. I did a whole video. It was an hour and a half. It's gone. I don't know what happened. Then there was, I saw that giant rat problem. I've been outside almost every single day picking up garbage, get my gloves on. At least I've got 100 million of them that are disposable. So that's been hilarious. Oh, yeah, real great. So I've been picking up garbage out front. And then, what else? I don't know. It's just been a shit day.
I'm back.
Hey, you. It's like, yeah,
This has been a crappy day.
I'm glad you're safe though.
Yeah.
Because you said the creeks were rising, and at least it
Well,
didn't.
yeah.
Yeah, not enough to stop you. Good.
Yeah. Sounds like you've had one of those days too.
Oh, I have. I made a whole freaking video about the 7M lawsuit with KJ, and it's gone. I don't know what
What?
happened. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's wrong with this computer. And
And it's new. I mean,
yeah,
new to you from your mom.
yeah, yep. So I hooked it up with a cord to my router. I'm right beside it. It's all hooked up instead of just doing it like through Bluetooth and whatnot, right? So I had that hooked up. The video still didn't work, so I reset my router, I reset my computer, and I'm telling you, if it doesn't work, it's fucking going. Bye. Let's go. I'll go back to my ancient laptop.
Or you can go to
At least it
Walmart and get a
worked.
real cute one that's purple for like $192.
Really?
Yeah, I ordered
All
one.
right, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get one, and it works. Does it work good for like? Well, yeah,
Yeah,
best day. You can play.
it does. Well, it's not the one I'm on now, but it's like a little bit less expensive because it doesn't have maybe all of the like the CD-ROM and all that stuff in it, but it's got
Yeah.
everything else. Except I don't even use that. So.
Okay. Yeah. It might be my graphics card.
Oh, now,
I don't know. I'm not a.
do y'all have any computer repair
It's lagging
places
a bit.
there?
Yes, I do. I'm gonna have to call them and ask them just to come
Yeah,
over and fix
that's
this.
what I did. It's cheaper than buying a new one.
Well, yeah. Uh, oh, no worries, Brandon. No worries. Yeah, got my heater problems, got my rat problems, got my video problems.
Oh
Like,
no!
holy, is there
If
anything
we live
else?
if we live closer, my husband could help you with your rat problems. He owns an exterminating
Oh,
company.
I've called them, and this is going on 2 weeks now. I haven't heard shit, and I called them again. They still haven't called me back. So I'm like, next
What?
phone call, I'm gonna be a complete asshole. Normally I'm not, but I'm pissed. I'm sick to death of having to
Well,
go outside and pick up my garbage, and I don't want to keep it in the house because I do have cats. So when I clean their litter box, no matter how tight those grocery bags I make them, sometimes there's still a whiff. Like,
they're
no
still
thanks. I
open
don't.
on
I
the
want it
side.
in my
Yeah.
garbage. Yeah, I want my bags to be outside in my rubber bin where they're supposed to be. I shouldn't, but it's completely broken, so now I got to buy a new one because the rats made a huge ass hole in it. Now they've made a
I'm
hole underneath my front step. Oh
I'm
my
so
god,
surprised
my
you have
driveway
rats with
has fallen
cats.
apart. Oh, they can't get
Cats
in my house.
usually will
Luckily.
keep away the rats. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Mouse or rat. Cats usually will really like even the smell of their
Wow.
urine detours them. So you can take old litter where they've peed in it, and sprinkle it outside of your doorway if that's where they're at. And
I
usually
have.
it's a deterrent.
They don't care. They just rummage
Oh,
through shit and they just have themselves to a fucking party in my garbage. I
well,
mean, these things.
they're like brave rats.
Yeah, they are. They're huge too.
Oh,
But
sounds like
Mike,
this roof
I
rat.
don't. Yeah, they're huge. They're really big. My son went to go out to school and he opened the front door and he saw a rat jump out of the garbage bag. He thought it was a kitten. He thought it was like,
Yeah,
I'm like, no.
I've seen
He's
them
like,
big, big as cats. Seriously, sitting up in my kitchen eating out of the trash. In that old haunted house I lived in the beginning, what I was telling you about, that was really
yeah,
crazy off the chain. Like we had to take the doors off the hinges because they wouldn't stop opening and shutting, stuff like that. Like I walked in the kitchen literally, and there was a mouse or a rat, excuse me, with a fat tail that was sitting high
yes.
as it could tall, almost at my knee. Not kidding.
Oh
Looked
my
at me like, I
God.
dare you to come in here. And that's what I ran back in the den and called my ex-boyfriend. He was down the road.
Yeah,
I was
I would
like,
have
"You got
too.
to come get rid of this rat for me, please."
Yeah, definitely.
I hate
They gotta
rats.
go. They're ruining everything. Like this whole property is damaged from the driveway to the front to the back. Oh my God.
Oh man. Do you rent
Yes.
and your landlord won't do nothing?
No, apparently not. I
What
had
a
rats 2 years ago because of the wildlife that was all like, they disrupted it. And now they're back again. I don't know what's going on, what the fuck they've done now to the city, but holy frig. I'm not
after
just mad
the
at it.
after the sea and all the stuff that's happened with that and all the evictions and all that kind of crazy nonsense. Like
Yeah.
we got threw out in the middle of Corona and we were even paying our rent.
Wow.
It was bad.
You forgot
Well,
to share. Yeah.
I hope that gets worked out for you.
Me too. You got new problem or you got problems with that new phone already? See, it's like jinx. I'm honestly, I swear I've been cursed or I'm jinxed or something because I've had bad luck my whole life. It doesn't. I
Yeah.
expect it. So of course this computer doesn't work. Of course. Oh. Hey knitting. Hey Amanda. Hey Chronic. Yeah, so it's lagging apparently. Figures.
Uh-oh.
Ugh. I'm just gonna start reading and then I'm going to make sure I gotta put these pictures or something. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna start reading and then after this I'm gonna have to go live again or try and make another video. I think I'm doing it on my laptop though. Yeah, I'm gonna be more safe than sorry. Screw that.
Yeah, it sucks about that other video, man. Working
Yeah, it
on
was an
that
hour and
hard.
a half long of me
Oh
talking
gosh.
to myself. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah. And then of course it kept cutting off and then Twitter wouldn't work. I was like, yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. So I just figured I'd edit it. Nope, it didn't even work. It got like 2 minutes of it. I was like, yeah, that was a waste of time.
I'm going to rebuke the prince of the power of the air, according to Ephesians 2:2. Did not mess with your computer. I rebuke it from messing with your computer.
Yeah, like leave me alone. Did I
Leave
get
her
a
alone.
here? Yes, I got an appointment tomorrow. Thanks for reminding me because I forgot. Shit. I don't remember what time it was. 10, I think. Uh-oh. I'm glad you reminded me. They said they'd call it. They didn't. Uh-oh. Oh, he's
Oh, you
getting...
have a doctor's appointment tomorrow too. Oh yeah,
Yes.
your ears have been messing up. You said because you had tubes before
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah, well, that's
I
good. You
thought...
got an appointment.
Yeah, I did. I think it's... She said... Oh, no, where is it? She said Wednesday. Come early.
Tomorrow's Tuesday, isn't it?
Shit, it is. Oh, my God. Wow. Okay, yeah, it's Wednesday. That's why they didn't call me. Okay, so it's
Good
Wednesday at
thing
10
is,
a.m.
look, you caught me in a good moment. You caught me in a lucid moment.
Wow.
I would have thought it was probably Wednesday tomorrow myself.
I don't know why I thought it was Wednesday. Holy.
That's funny.
All right, I'm gonna start reading. And then I don't know. I'm putting my laptop back out here. You're reading again.
What chapter are? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm in the middle of the police one. It's like chapter 6, the police.
Okay.
In the middle of it.
Last week. All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're at the part where they said that. Okay, it says the next day there was a huge story on the front page with the police sketch of a woman with her hair sticking out and huge white glasses. A lead we have got to follow, said HPD spokesperson Fred Barbetta. All because a woman who worked at Fort Lauderdale's amusement park had seen a woman with a little boy at the refreshment stand who had asked for a Slurpee, and when they didn't have one, then asked for a root beer instead. So because that's what his son normally did, they said that that woman was had kidnapped his son possibly.
Oh,
Wow.
that's weird.
So that was the HPD's hot lead for the week. I was asked by reporters for my reaction. Hopeful, I said, enthused. During those days in the police station, I learned an interesting fact. It was not the kind of thing I would have ever done, I've ever known before. I've been reading forever, sorry. It was not the kind of thing I would ever have known before or anything that I would ever have cared to know. But now I realized how incredibly important it was in search for Adam. The fact was that in almost all cases, the bodies of children who had been abducted and murdered were generally found either within 5 miles of where they were abducted or else hundreds of miles away. No in between. Still, in our case, there had been no official map searches of the many empty fields around Hollywood. Around Hollywood. Blah, blah. Okay. Volunteer groups of police cadets or 200 truck drivers who had taken a day off work were going out to search our field or another. But that was it. No one at the Hollywood Police Department was saying, there's a big abandoned overgrown field between 14th and 18th Streets. Let's go over there and walk it. The tips were coming in like crazy, but no one was coordinating them. These were the days before computers, and since no one was in charge of logging all this information, there was no way to look up all the leads on, say, a blue van, or a white car, or anything else for that matter. At night, a detective who had been working all day at something else might take a phone tip, which he then might or might not give to someone else the next day. Everything was so disorganized and chaotic that it was driving me nuts, and I wasn't the only one noticing. Reporters were watching things too. The Miami Herald was interested because they wanted to know if someone in the family might be responsible for Adam's disappearance. But they were also interested in keeping an eye on how the Hollywood police were doing. So at least to the media, I became the great public defender of the Hollywood police. Privately, we were in trouble, and we knew it. The law enforcement response to the search for a little boy who had clearly been kidnapped was probably scared and possibly hurt, or worse. Should have been a coordinated effort by as many law enforcement agencies as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But this small town police department didn't seem to want to ask for help that was so obviously needed. The one exception to the whole depressing situation were the troopers of the Florida State Highway Patrol. Ordinarily, police can't stop a car unless they have a reason to believe that there are drugs or a gun inside. But when the tip about the blue van first came up, the state troopers found excuses to stop vans all over the state. Hundreds of people who drove blue vans complained about being pulled over by Florida state troopers. The troopers were once a police agency that really, really looked for Adam. sorry, the troopers were one police agency that really looked for Adam. They basically said, screw it. Wouldn't it be great if that little boy is in this van and we get him back alive? Every now and then, Reve would go over to the police station just to see what was up, just to sit there and project her famous attitude. Don't tell me how sore you are for me. Do something. John Monahan was there a lot because he knew the chief of police. And wherever the chief would start talking about anything else or laugh at something, Reve would think to herself, you stupid buffoon. How can you sit there laughing? How can you even think about anything but Adam? It was late at night, 3 or 4 days into the search, back when the cops were still scrutinizing everything she did. Probably wondering if she had anything to do with Adam's disappearance. When she noticed a machine like a teletype in the audio theft section, it was running on and on. A big pile of paper from it was forming on the floor. Every so often, someone could come by and rip the paper out of the machine and take it to who knows where. Then another pile would form, and they'd rip that one off and take it away too. Finally, she couldn't stand it anymore. What is this thing? She asked. Oh, that's the NCIC, the National Crime Information Center computer. What does it do? Oh, it tells about things that are going on in other areas. What happens to the printout? Is anybody looking at it? Well, ordinarily they do, but with everyone being so tied up with your case, we haven't had the time. They didn't even bother answering her last question, which was, well, if there's something on there about Adam, well, what if there's something on there about Adam? So that was the big revelation. The cops could tell you where your stolen car was, but not your stolen child. The idea that it was pretty it was pretty big country out there, and that police agencies all through it didn't necessarily share their information, and even if they did, who knew if anyone else was reading it? That was the first time that I remember feeling that we didn't have a chance, that we might as well just go home. Because there was no system, what there was nothing. I remember saying to myself, maybe they should just go ahead and bomb the building and turn all the criminals loose, because we were definitely out in the weeds on this one. We're so far out behind the 8 ball here that if nothing, it's nothing but a big sick joke. Okay, now we're on chapter 7. That's weird. I don't know why I stopped reading that before, but okay, now we're on chapter 7, and this is called The Search Part 2. Happy? Sorry, I gotta kiss my cat. God forbid.
My cat told me too. And she's still in labor. She hadn't had them kittens yet.
Yeah, mine's just sitting here wanting attention as usual. Every time I'm on here.
I love it though. I can't lie.
Yeah, me too. All right, only a few weeks before, a month maybe. I had to tell Adam that because I was so busy at work, I probably wasn't going to be able to take him to see the dinosaurs at the Smithsonian as promised. At least not anytime soon. So if he and his mom and me couldn't go as far away as Washington, was there someplace closer he might like? Yep, Dad, he had said Disney World. That's where we were thinking that if anyone had taken Adam, they might end up in Colorado. Sorry, in Orlando. Oh, you're distracting me, little girl. You are. Ever since Adam went missing, the pressure to keep getting media coverage never let up. We fought for airtime, headlines, column inches. We cursed the royal family for scheduling their wedding that week.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Entitled much? I mean, I get it.
A little.
Jeez. And the location of Charles and Di's honeymoon was bigger news. I found out that there were guys called news directors, and I tried to get them on the phone. I called NBC, CBS, all of them. People were so rude to me. A friend of ours had gone to Atlanta to talk to one of Ted Turner's reps, and I tapped an interview that we were hoping to get on CNN. Les was calling, I was pleading as the father of the missing child. But it was always the same old thing. It's a great story, Mr. Walsh, but it's a local one. No one outside of Florida even knew about Adam's disappearance. No one else cared. Why would some big-time news director for a network give a damn about one little boy missing from South Florida? No one else cared. Why would some big-time news director for a network give a damn about the one little boy from South Florida who was missing?
Also, I'll just say, Ted Turner is an asshole. A complete and utter asshole. He used to own the Atlanta Braves game, the Atlanta Braves. I don't know if he still does, but the man is like seriously dark.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I don't think he would help in any way.
Les and I were a couple of pretty sharp marketing guys from South Florida who had contacts all over the Bahamas, but we didn't know whom to call in New York to get on the nightly news. All we knew was that Adam could be anywhere in the country by now, and that South Florida TV wasn't big enough. On Sunday, August 2nd, 6 days after Adam's disappearance, we got a call at the police station from a guy by the name of Bill Frederick, the mayor of Orlando, who was also a good friend of Les's. In Orlando, the managers of Busch Gardens, Circus World, and Disney World had already put 300 security guards and 20 detectives on alert, and local volunteers were sweeping the theme park for Adam. Bill was calling to let us know that he had gotten himself booked onto a radio show so that he could go on and publicize Adam's case. And now he was asking if there was anything else he could do. Les got an idea. That same week, a case had broken about a missing boy north of us in Tampa, and Les said, John, why don't we take Bill Frederick up on his offer, go up to Orlando, and then shoot over to Tampa and draw some attention to that case too. We could put it all together and do a barnstormer of the state. What we were hoping was that our statewide swing would kick up a little dust, generate some interest, create domino effect publicity. On Wednesday, August 5th, 6 of us, the pilot, Reve, me, Les Davies, my brother Joe, and Charlie Brennan, a reporter from the Hollywood Sun-Tatler, boarded a Piper Navajo en route to Orlando. It was my company's private plane and it had 7 seats. One we held open for Adam. On the flight, Reve read news clips. We talked a little, but mostly everyone just looked at the windows at the sun-scorched earth below. We landed at Herndon Airport in Orlando at 9:45. A sign read, Welcome to Orlando. The city, beautiful. As soon as we got off the plane, a reporter hollered, Why do you think Adam might be in this area? He loves the attractions in the area, I said. He loves Disney World, but we'll go anywhere people will listen to us, anywhere where we can talk about Adam. This is obsessive.
It is.
I mean, I get it, but must be nice to know people and to have money, because this would never happen with any one of our kids.
With our kids, no. We would be out there desperately handing out flyers, trying to beg anybody that we could get to even, like, I have a friend whose daughter went missing like that, and she couldn't get anybody to do anything, and she died in the woods, and they found her like weeks later.
Wow.
And,
yeah.
That
makes me so upset.
It's if you got money. They don't have money, and it's who you know. That's what I'm saying. That Megan's been saying all along that he has got huge ties with all over the place, Washington D.C., all over. So look, even though Ted Turner wouldn't help him, he had a lot of other people helping him. Because Adam was a huge story.
It was, and it just doesn't seem fair. Because all that time, everybody, the news, the police, everybody's neglecting everything else, and now there's another child missing.
Right. But, they're a little bit rolling in that with him. I guess they're trying to roll that child in with Adam, but it's still all about Adam. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I mean, it's very obsessive.
600,000 children go missing every single year.
Yeah.
Imagine if they paid this much attention to, or even half this much attention, you know what I'm saying, to the other cases. Kids can get found, but they don't care. They really don't care.
No, and I just don't. I almost want to say, I mean, like, who the hell do they think they are? It's just, I get it. Your son's missing, and I would do everything with mine too, but how come he's better than us? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just sick the way these sick societies work together like that. They literally, they take oaths. They will lie. They will do bad things in their work ethics if they're in the police or judges or whatever, or, whatever line of business, because they're all into it, on different levels. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is he has so many connections, and it's far beyond even Florida. These lodges and stuff are linked together like a spider web.
Yeah.
And they work together.
Well, and he got 2 shows out of this now.
And he's still using it as a cash cow. Still to this day. It's crazy.
It is. One of the first people we called when we got in was Bill Frederick, who, in addition to everything else, just happened to be an old college roommate of David Hartman's, then the host of ABC's Good Morning America, which at the time was the top-rated network morning show. Earlier that year, there had been a lot of local press about a woman with amnesia in South Florida State Hospital. After trying for weeks to identify her, the authorities were at a dead end. Then in February, they arranged to get her story on GMA. Within days, she was reunited with her parents, who had not seen her in 7 years. Bill's press guy set up a conference call with a GMA guy in New York, and we all got on the phone together. The GMA flack basically didn't want to be bothered, and Les was swimming hard upstream. The Flack kept asking Les if the story was genuinely newsworthy, and the mayor's press guy kept assuring him that it was. Finally, after much back and forthing, the GMA guy agreed to take a look at the big book of press clippings that Jane had been working on to compile. Well, okay, why don't you send it up? I guess we can take a look at it. A limousine picked us up. Wow, a limousine picked
Nice.
us up. Yeah.
Wow.
From the airport and took us to a motel called the Court of Flags. Reve told Charlie Brennan how hard it was for her to get in front of TV cameras, but that she did it because it's the only way we'll get him back. At the motel, we hooked up with a guy named Chad Martin, an old friend of mine from our days who was now the motel's VP of sales and marketing. Chad was the one who, over the past week, have been coordinating the search for Adam at all the theme parks in Orlando. In the old days, Chad and I used to have a great time hanging out together at the hotel marketing trade shows. Now it seemed as if that had happened in a former lifetime. Over breakfast, Chad was shocked at how bad I looked. I wasn't really sleeping and I had lost about 30 pounds. Ray was telling Chad about her progress with one of the psychics, a retiree from Lauderdale named Skirmerhorn. He claimed that when he looked at photographs, he saw a black aura around anyone in the picture who had died. Before he read Adam's aura, he wanted to know if Reve was ready for the outcome either way. She had told him that she was, so he went ahead and read the picture, and in it, he said that Adam's aura showed he was alive, which we know was bullshit.
Yes.
Maybe to spare Reve's feelings, he did not tell her that when he first walked into the Hollywood police station, the cops had shown him a picture of Adam too. And that time, as soon as he saw it, he had blurted out that boy's dead. Yeah.
Wow. That sounds unprofessional.
It does. Yeah. We had an 11 a.m. press conference scheduled in one of the motel's conference rooms, and this was a big break for us. The chance to get some attention statewide, which could snowball to who knows what. I was nervous beforehand, talking nonstop. The day after Adam disappeared, during my first appearance on TV, I had stammered when a reporter fired a question at me. Reve had to finish my sentence for me. After that, I considered it my duty to be better prepared. I need to be coherent, concise, and making the best possible appeal for Adam's return whenever we were lucky enough to get coverage from the electronic media. From then on, I never stumbled again. At that first press conference in Orlando, only one newspaper reporter, 3 radio newscasters, and 1 TV cameraman showed up. I didn't care. It was better than nothing. I talked about all the help we were getting from law enforcement and all the average, ordinary citizens. I said again what I had been saying a million times in the previous 10 days, that we would go anywhere to find Adam, that we would negotiate with anyone if it would help bring him home. He's our only child. He's our little boy, and we want to get him back. We will never stop looking for him. We will never give up. We had lunch at the motel, met with some people, and afterward, as the room was emptying out, Charlie Brennan saw Reve looking at a menu. I know what Adam would have, she said, a hot dog, chips, and a soft drink. Yeah, said my brother Joe. He's definitely a hot dog kind of guy. Just before 3 o'clock, we left on the short flight to Tampa. We had to wait for a while because there was a nationwide air traffic controller strike. But the airline people really tried to help us out. When we got into Tampa Airport, they took us right into the VIP lounge for another press conference. This time, we met with newspaper, TV, and radio reporters one-on-one. And this time, there was media people, not just from Tampa and Orlando, but from St. Petersburg and Panhandle, too. Reve said that anyone who thought they were him should call out his name. I kept talking about the reward. Later on, we were sitting with some reporters inside the airport, and Reve all of a sudden came out with what was in her head. I just can't wait until Adam comes home, she said, to no one in particular. You know how it feels the night before Christmas? This is like that, except 100 times more. Charlie Brennan asked her what the first thing was that she was going to do when Adam got home. We're going to have the biggest party South Florida has ever seen, she said. I don't care if it takes 2 years. I'm going to invite everyone who's helped. We're going to have it in a big hotel, and I know Adam is going to want to shake everybody's hand. As we were getting ready to leave, Reve walked across the room to where someone had put up a whole display of Adam's missing posters. She reached up and touched his face gently with her hand. At that point, I think, just as some reporter asked me one last question, Charlie Brennan finally lost it. Later, he said that it was all he could handle. He just broke down and cried. That single one day, Barstormer across Florida changed everything. The focus of the search was getting wider. More people were hearing about the case, and it was beginning to feel as if national news organizations were going to take some interest. When we left Hollywood that Wednesday morning, there had been one TV camera present. By the time we got back, there was a whole raft of them. Even more important was that it looked like Adam's case might actually get on Good Morning America, that it might finally be on television nationwide. In addition, because of the publicity that we were generating, it also seemed as if we might actually start to get a little help from the FBI. In Tampa, we had been filmed for a segment on the local CBS affiliate. One of the people who saw it was a woman named Ivana Dinova. She was the president of something called the D. Schofield Awareness Program, a Brandon, Florida based group that tried to help families of missing children. D. Ivana's 12-year-old niece had been missing since 1976. After the CBS segment aired, DeNova called us to say that she was working on something called the Missing Children Act, a law that would require the FBI to get more involved in the cases of missing children. She said that she would contact Florida's Republican Senator Paula Hawkins, co-sponsor of the bill, and Florida's other Senator Lawton Chiles, to urge them both to put some pressure on the FBI. It didn't take long to get a response from Washington.
I bet.
Yeah.
And also, isn't that weird how he was involving the CPS and like doing things with the CPS, and now what Megan's going through, like,
Yeah, it's a little odd there.
Yeah, that's like early on.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing that Paula Hawkins can do to push the FBI into this, a borough spokesman told the Sun-Timer on August 7th. Then the HPD's Captain Mowers got into the fray. He told the papers that the HPD had made the FBI aware of Adam's case from the first day. I would welcome anyone who would want to come in and help, but I don't think they're going to dedicate street people to come in and start investigating. Realistically, there's nothing that can be done on our level that hasn't already been done in this case. We've even done a lot of things we normally wouldn't do. If the federal government has jurisdiction, it just comes in. And we certainly can't keep them out if they want to come in. I would call them in a second if I felt we needed help.
What? Well, I mean, the FBI, I mean, don't you think they would be, they would want to be working on this?
You would think.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
I would be begging for the FBI.
Same here. Right from the get-go.
Right. Weird.
We would utilize the services of the RCMP if we had some direction to go in. It's not a matter of who does it, it's just that it gets done. Everyone, including the cops, knew that we weren't asking for the FBI to invade Hollywood. It was that police in neighboring counties didn't really know anything about Adam's case, at least not officially. We were hoping for to get a little help outside of Broward County. A little boy's life was at stake here. For God's sake, what the hell was the matter with them? It's not just your fucking kid, though, man. Like, holy shit, he's pissing me off. I understand that, but he's not any different from any other parents that are missing their children. Right. And that's what's pissing me off.
I mean, he acts like, you know, his child, or I mean, even if they, I mean, who knows what the hell they did to him anyway. But yeah. I'm saying, say that he is really missing. Let's just say allegedly he's really missing. Mm-hmm. I mean, the audacity to just think your child and you, what a narcissistic ass, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, that's the exact height of narcissism. To think you're the only person in the world and the world revolves around you only.
And that's what it's acting like.
Yeah. And like I said, he actually kind of put his son above his wife, or his child above his wife, all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just ignored her and was taking Adam all around the place and doing weird. I don't know. I think that's weird still.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that, you know, there just seems to be a lot of red flags.
Yeah, exactly. Amanda's saying some people think and believe that Adam's still alive.
I do too.
Yeah? I don't know.
Yeah, Megan said that she had taken a blood test and they conveniently lost the blood test. The father refuses to do it or whatever. He won't. And here's my thing. Wow. Look, if you thought your son, that you did all this, that he wrote this book about, you know, moving heaven and earth and everything else, now somebody comes up and says, I may be your son, and you refuse?
Yeah, that's
weird.
Shit.
Weird. And Megan agreed to it. Like, she did. She said they went and had it done, but the lab has lost it 2 times, not once, but twice.
Twice? Okay, something's up here. Holy crap. Wow.
Man, this story's deep. And, you know, I would have a long time ago, because I really thought a lot of John Walsh at one time. I was so,
me too.
You know, brainwashed, I guess, because everybody just pumped him up so.
Yep.
And I would watch America's Most Wanted, and I would be like, yeah, get him, because he'd be like, we're gonna
Same
get that
here.
sorry scumbag,
Yeah.
pedophile, stinking, what I'm saying? I mean, every,
Oh yeah,
thing,
absolutely.
descriptive word, and me and my husband would just sit there and laugh, you know. And now it's just like knowing what we
Yeah.
know. It's just, I don't know, it's queasy now thinking back on all that.
Yeah. Like, wow. The stories out there. I'll tell
I
you
feel
that.
so duped. I feel so duped.
Yeah, because everybody like he was a household name.
He was
He was the
almost like
guy
a
who got the
hero.
bad guys. Yeah, he was the
Yeah,
guy who got the bad guys. Everybody loved John Walsh. Now that I'm reading this
exactly.
book and I'm finding out other things, now he's they lose 2 blood samples. He's refusing to get one done. Something's wrong here.
I mean, and also, why isn't Reve? That's her little boy, or
Yeah,
now whatever. But why wouldn't she like run, go to the hospital with him?
yeah,
Like seriously, like
something's
maybe
up.
take a police escort in case he's a weirdo, and just not really. But he's like provided proof and stuff. I don't know. I don't. You can. I mean, maybe the people on the panel they've seen some of it too, but
Yeah,
like there is something there.
there is. I agree. Absolutely. This story's a little out there. He always gave you the creep stuff. Shit. It was all making me crazy. That week for a story he was writing, Charlie Brennan asked me if once Adam was home, I would be willing to get involved politically in the issue of missing children. Absolutely, I said. Once you've been through this thing, you can certainly empathize with anybody who's going through it. A lot of people don't have the friends and the community support that we have. We would do anything to help. You think? Because it looks to me
Anything,
like,
all right. Murder, allegedly.
yeah. As
I mean,
things,
these people do that. Is what I don't mean to interrupt you, but just
no,
knowing what I know from the Masonic, societies,
yeah,
and when you get up to that higher level, to actually, there is required
yep,
sacrifice to make it to the 33rd degree. Just saying, because once you get to that point, and all of the secrets that they know at that level, which is the enlightenment of
yeah,
Lucifer being God to them, the morning star, whatever they want to call it. But once they get enlightened to that, it's like it requires a sacrifice. In other words, nothing's free. You understand? And
yep.
that is the ultimate thing. And there's other stuff that goes along with that ritual, but we won't get into that because that's really graphic. But I'm just
Sorry.
saying this really just is like I just see so many red flags. I mean, just so many.
I would have never thought that unless I started reading this book. But I knew from the get go when I started reading it what he was stating. He was narcissistic. He was just
Ooh.
nobody's better than his family, and his son is the best in the world. I mean, I get it. Of course, every parent thinks that
Everybody
way,
thinks that, but
but to his
not to
extent,
that extent. And he's like a
yeah,
malignant narcissist. I mean, there's some
definitely.
covert narcissists, and I mean, everybody has a little bit of narcissism in them, little
Hmm.
tiny bit. But I mean, we're talking like a psychopathic, malignant narcissist.
Yes.
Seriously. And I'm talking about, I studied psychology for a long time. That's what I was going to do. So even though I didn't graduate, I did get the schooling mostly for it. And I'm just saying, it's just a textbook case. Like if
Yeah.
you would look it up in the dictionary and see a picture.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, there's stuff going on here. It's wow. I'd love to get to the bottom of it. Okay. As things went, our main contact at HPD became and continued to be Jack Hoffman. Whenever anyone called to say that they knew where Adam was or that they had some kind of tip, Les would turn it over to him. Things had kind of reached status quo. The leads would always turn out to be nothing. It would have been a lot of an entire police department to follow up on, let alone one man. Les later said that he always imagined Hoffman taking down the information, then just throwing it into the wastebasket under his desk. By the second week of the search, while no one wanted to say it out loud, especially in front of Hervé or me, it was becoming obvious to the people closest to us the search might go on for some time. Jeff O'Regan and Les Davies had already had a critical private conversation. At the time, they thought that the best thing was to try to get Hervé's and my life back to some sort of normalcy. It wasn't really possible under the circumstances, but even so, they decided to move the whole search operation out of the house. Up until that point, 2801 McKinley and the third floor of the Hollywood Police Department had been searched central. It was a good idea for everyone. Or it wasn't a good idea anymore. Things at the house were getting too overwhelming, and the HPD would be just as happy to see us move out too. So they gave us some place in the old HPD building on Hollywood Circle. The building was on a rotary in the center of downtown Hollywood, not far from the library and the court and all the government buildings. Upstairs were jail cells still being used as part of the holding facility. In our space on the first floor was one big cavernous room, dark with a low counter that ran the whole length of it. At first, we only had one telephone line, the one we had transferred over from the house, but by Sunday night, there were 5 phone lines, all installed to handle the expected deluge of calls from our parents Tuesday morning on GMA. Like, that's Good Morning America.
Yeah.
It was late on the night of Monday, August 10th. Les was in his office alone, getting ready to close up for the night. Reve and I were already in New York. Jane had flown up too, as had Charlie Brennan. Things were quiet. It was hot, no air conditioning, just the hum of a ceiling fan. That and the sound from upstairs of the inmates in their ceilings playing ping pong and watching TV.
Can I answer a question? Somebody made a comment
Yeah.
in the thing, Little Miss Betty Page or whatever.
Mhm.
And she's saying that I'm misinformed about the Freemasons. But sweetheart, my whole family is Freemasons from the 33rd degree level. There are even higher degrees than that people don't know about unless you're up in there. My maiden name was Mason, and yeah, I was up in the White House and stuff with Jimmy Carter. And I mean, I'm just telling you, like, I know that you don't know what you don't know, but I'm just saying, like, maybe instead of just assuming that we don't know what we're talking about and we're misinformed, I mean, you might want to go and study up on it. And there are generational curses that go 10 generations back if you go and read yourself. I mean, they even say it. I mean, people have come out of Freemasonry and they have exposed a lot of this stuff. But a lot of this stuff that I've gone through, ritualistic, sexual, and satanic abuse in a Masonic temple when I was a child, and those things nobody told me. These things
Mhm.
happen, and I'm not mad at you or anything because you don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just upset about it because these are real memories and these are real things that happen to kids, and it goes un. No, I mean, like, nothing's done about it because nobody wants to believe that people are that frigging sick.
Yeah, exactly. Makes it hard to
And they
believe.
are. And I mean, I know every single Mason is not like this. When you are under a certain level, like 14th degree, when you're under that, you don't have a clue
Yeah.
about what this is really about in a bigger picture. But it is worldwide. It is not just in America. It is literally worldwide from
That's
Scotland.
scary.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. And I'm just like, I'm not mad at you or anything. I'm just like, it brings up a lot of emotion. I guess that would be
Yeah.
the thing, emotion in me because like those flashbacks come back and it's just like, you know, I mean, I've gotten help for it and healing, but it's still hard to
It's
deal
still
with.
there. Yeah, exactly. It's still there. Probably
But
always will be there. Hmm.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be. No, no. You're allowed to speak on that. You lived it.
And I just feel so bad for Adam because either
Yeah.
way, if he went one way or another, and
Hmm.
and he's still alive, his life was probably total hell. If
Yeah, I
he
agree.
did, if he, what I'm saying, if he did live, and if he did die, there's just something much deeper here
Yeah,
than what they're showing.
I agree.
They blame Dahmer. They tried to put it
Yeah,
on
I remember
Dahmer.
that.
They tried to put it
Like,
on, like, Jeffrey Dahmer never was really into kids except for that
no, he
14-year-old
wasn't.
boy. A
Yeah.
14-year-old. But he looked a little bit older. But I mean, that's not right. But
Yeah,
I'm
he was
saying
into
he just
more.
wasn't into kids. He just wasn't.
No, he wasn't. He was into more men and gay men, for that
Yeah,
matter.
exactly. And Otis Toole, he was known to
Yes.
give false statements all the time.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Um, then, just as Les was getting ready to turn out the lights, the phone rang. A reporter from Orlando was on the line. She told Les that she had just heard a report over her police scanner that 2 fishermen in Indian River County, near the town of Vero Beach, is about 120 miles north of Hollywood, had found something in one of the canals that ran past the citrus groves along the Florida Turnpike. There's reports that it might be the remains of a young, maybe 10-year-old boy. This obviously had nothing to do with Adam's case, Les said. It must be that missing boy from Tampa. He was older than Adam. It couldn't be Adam because of it. If it was, Les said, he would have heard something by now. Well, that's not true at all.
Well, first of all, don't you think that's weird that those boys both went missing at the same time, and then the head comes up, and like we said, the teeth don't match up. It's
no,
like
they don't.
Older kid.
My grandfather was a Mason, and my best friend is a Freemason. I understand your intention is well-meaning, and I'm sorry you were negatively impacted, but I respectfully disagree. So you two had both different situations.
Well, I'm sure your grandfather was probably a 3rd degree, honey, and I mean, I'm sure you had absolutely no, thing happen to you or any kind of negative thing happen to you in that if they were just 3rd degree. And that's a Master Mason. I mean, that's that's high in the lodges, that there are blue lodges around. And I understand and I respect you because you totally had a different experience. It's kind of like people in church. Some people go to church and they have great experiences growing up, and some people go to church and get molested by some sick son of a bitch in a robe. You know what I'm saying? I'm just and they hide behind different things and they do things just
religion
deviant. Yeah. So and Mason is honestly technically a type of religion like Eastern Star. If you look at it, it is a Wiccan symbol. I'm just telling you, I know my aunts were into this. My whole entire family is into this. Like as far back as George Mason, who wrote the Bill of Rights. I'm his descendant. Like my family comes from Virginia, right there. I'm just saying, it's just if I didn't know what I know, like I would be way more like, oh, really, and willing to say, well, you might be right because I'm so open-minded. But because I've seen what I've seen, I'm just like, I understand that, like, you totally had a different experience, and I respect that. And I'm thankful you did not experience what I've experienced, and many, many other kids have experienced. I'm very thankful you didn't go through that.
Yeah, there's 2 different experiences you can have from what I imagine.
Right.
Like your father ended up getting out of it, correct? Before he passed?
He did. He sure did. Right before he passed. A couple months, in fact.
Yeah. So hers
and he died of a heart attack, which is one of the oaths you take if you break the oath, that you could die of a heart attack, basically.
Wow.
And so, I mean, like, I've read all that stuff because it was passed down to me. From the secret books that don't get out to the public, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So Les said he would have heard something by now. No sooner did he put down the phone, it rang again. This time it was Dick Hines, who gave Les the same information that the reporter just had. As Les remembers it, Hines may even have said something like, "We're getting ready to go up to Vero." Hines wanted Les to know about it. He said in case he got any calls from the press. He told Les that he needed dental records and that they were trying to locate Adam's dentist. So Les sat there by the phone until about 11 o'clock. But there were no more updates and no more phone calls. He was by himself and there was nothing more than he could do. So he eventually checked everything that was supposed to be checked. He turned off the lights, looked up at the office, and headed out the door for home. We have been battling for 15 days to get any kind of law enforcement agency outside of the Hollywood police to investigate Adam's disappearance. None of them would. No one would help us. In spite of that,
they got a lot of help. Actually,
I was gonna say, what the fudge?
I mean, I've been so thankful to get all that help. My child was missing. Golly, it reminds me of the Kylie Rodney thing with the mom that didn't even thank the people that found her kid. It's like, what?
Yeah,
that's weird to me.
It is. In spite of that, we had launched what was now being called the largest hunt for a child in the history of South Florida. Well, there you go. So don't say in spite of that. It was the largest one. Like, seriously?
That's like a very hypocrisy type. I mean, you're saying one thing on one hand, and then you're turning around and saying the very opposite thing. It's like watching KJ's videos.
Yes, exactly.
Schizophrenic.
Very ungrateful. That's what I say.
Right.
Wow. At last count, we had printed and delivered nearly 1 million posters throughout the United States. We had learned to use the power of the media. We were no longer innocents. And now it was obvious, at least to last, that our efforts had paid off. That, against all odds, we had accomplished what we had set out to do. We had gotten the word out. Because the call that came over the police scanner that night, more than 100 miles away, was not, "We believe we found something out here," or "We have the remains of a young male." What the voice on the radio, full of static, had said was, "I think we found the Walsh boy." No, I get it, Deb. I would feel, you know what I mean? I understand it, but I feel like they're very ungrateful. They had more people helping them than anybody ever.
Right.
Like, this is
Especially
ridiculous.
back then.
Yes, especially back then. Like, I get it. Everybody's child matters, though, not just his. That's my point. And he's very narcissistic in that sense.
I
And
mean, I would be so
very
grateful.
ungrateful. Very ungrateful. Yeah. Like, he
And
got
I don't like want to talk bad about people who could possibly have had this happen to them. That
Yeah.
no matter what people do and how narcissistic they are, they don't deserve for that to happen.
No, me neither.
However, because I listened for years, you know what I'm saying? I was totally sold on this until
Yeah.
I started. I mean, I've spoken with Megan through text myself.
Yeah.
This girl is not making this stuff up. She is very brilliant.
Yeah.
And her father is trying to continue emotionally manipulate her by stealing her children away from her. Her last one only at 5 days, and using the CPS system and his pull in the county they live in, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And the last one he wouldn't even take because it was biracial. That and that in itself just tells me enough about him. All I need to know.
Yeah.
So I'm
No.
sorry that like they lost a child if they lost a child, but you know what I'm saying? Still the facts are still the facts.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say stop looking for my child, and it looks like they never did. They had
Right.
help from everyone, everywhere. They had the
Mhm.
most help that I've ever seen, and they're still saying it's not good enough for them. It's like
Right.
you
They're
can't
like,
do
what's enough?
more.
Right.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is chapter 8, called "The Day." I had been to Manhattan a million times before on business, and it had always been a whirlwind. Hustle and bustle in restaurants and meetings and phone calls. This time, it was as if the whole city had stopped. Like time was standing still, like moving around inside of a dream that I couldn't wake up and get out of. I wanted to do the morning show, get it over with, get back to Florida, and keep going in search. The only thing in the world that I wanted more than that was to get a phone call from Ohio and hear a voice saying that they had spotted him and that he had been taken into protective custody and was a little shaken up, but was safe and hadn't been hurt. Or that somebody knew who had taken him or could describe where he was being held. Or that someone was really almost sure that they had seen him that morning or anything at all. Reve and I went to our hotel room at St. Moritz on Central Park South. Small room up high, right over the park. We didn't go for a ride. We sat there, prisoners of time, suffering. We decided to try to go for a walk. There was no press. Nobody knew who we were. Nobody cared. Just two ants on the street of New York. We walked down Fifth Avenue for a few blocks until we came to St. Patrick's Cathedral. I felt like going inside, and Reve said that she did too. We walked to the doors of the magnificent cathedral, or to one of the side altars, the one, I think, to St. Jude, the patron saint of lost causes. In my heart of hearts was the deadening feeling that we were never going to see our little boy again. But it was cool and dark inside, and so we prayed. We lit a candle for him and prayed to God that somebody would find Adam and bring him back to us. That God, in his infinite wisdom, would make it so that this thing would have a miracle of a happy ending. Reve and I held each other's hand as we walked up to the aisle. Other people were in church, but nobody noticed us. It was the first time that we had really been alone together since Adam was missing. We told each other that somewhere somebody had to know something, that maybe, even now, someone would come forward to help us. Reve believed that Adam was with a person who would never hurt him. That Adam was so beautiful and so gentle and so handsome that no one could possibly harm him. After a while, we went up Fifth Avenue to the hotel, but Reve said that she couldn't go upstairs. For 2 weeks now, we had been doing something every second of every day. So while I went in to use the phone, Reve went to sit at the little sidewalk cafe outside the hotel because it was New York and you never knew. He might be anywhere in the whole wide world. Who could say that if she was standing on this corner, that he might not come by, walking by? Hadn't things been strange enough already? I had a different opinion. I'd seen the pedophile book. I had listened to all the cop stuff. I wasn't telling her anything. What right did I have to tell her? What right did I have to take any bit of hope of her hope away? I kept saying we're going to get him back. Someone's going to come to their senses and we'll find him. Whoever has him. Now that we're going national, we'll probably see him. To myself, I was saying 2 weeks is just too long. It's been way too long. 1 day was too long. 2 weeks was an eternity. That night, we met for a drink with the two women who were going to appear with us on GMA the next morning. One was Julie Patz, the other of a little boy, Eaton Patz, who had disappeared on his way to the school bus in New York 2 years before and had never been found.
Who was
Julie
that?
was
I'm sorry. Who was that again?
Eaton
That little
Patz.
boy that was missing. Eden what?
Eaton Patz. ETAN. I think that's how you say it.
I'm going to look that up. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, and Patz. PATZ.
Okay, thank you. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Julie was working, she said, for some kind of change in the system. With her was Kristen Cole Brown, the information director for an organization called Child Find, based in New Paltz, New York, and founded by a woman whose daughter had been missing for 7 years. Julie and Kristen had picked us up at LaGuardia, and it was obvious from the start that finally we had found someone who was going to help us. And then the oddest thing happened. Just after we sat down for drinks, Julie said, "On the show tomorrow, do you think you could hold up Eaton's picture or pictures of some other missing kids? Could you do that, please?" Right after that, Kristen Cole Brown told us that she was running Child Find, this big, sophisticated East Coast organization, out of a little room in her house. All of a sudden, it was so obvious. They were asking us for help. These were women, mothers. No one was listening to them, and I was a man wearing a suit.
I will say this. I do think very good things came out of this situation. Like, there are things that went into place because of Adam Walsh that would not have come into place otherwise, that, help find missing children, like that would sound the alarm earlier. You didn't have to wait a certain amount of time, and all these other laws were passed. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though, I'm suspect of some of the things that go along with this, I still think that, like, I know that, we all have different beliefs, but my belief is that usually God will turn things around for the good.
Yeah.
Even evil things that happen, I think that he doesn't want evil things to happen, but people have free will, so they do. But he'll take things and turn it for the good. And I do believe that the good things came out of this.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't all for nothing, no matter what happened. And even Adam, if he did pass away, like, his life was not for nothing, because it has helped find so many other children. I will say that.
Yeah, that's the thing. The laws have been changed,
Yeah.
Where's this? Okay. It was another of those horrible realizations. We had been following a trail of crumbs in the hope that it would lead us into the house with the dining room that had the table loaded with all the food. And now we knew that it wasn't going to be that way after all, because there was no food, there was no table, or even any house. There was just the trail of crumbs. Julie and Kristen said, "John, this is the first time that a man has come forward on this issue. We just feel that with your involvement, we can start to make some serious headway." They were quoting all kinds of reports and statistics the whole time. Reve and I were pulling back, sinking down farther into our chairs. It was as if the lid had suddenly been yanked off the whole can of worms. My God, I said to myself, this thing is snowballing. Our GMA appearance was scheduled for the next morning, Tuesday, August 11th at 8 a.m. They were going to send a car to take us for the short ride to the studio. For most of that night, I didn't sleep. Reve was asleep, but I was lying in bed, staring up at the ceiling. I didn't trust the wake-up call, and we would have to be showered by 6 o'clock then. At 5, the phone rang. I don't remember who it was. I honestly don't. They wanted to know who our dentist was, because a severed head had been found in a canal. They were couching it, saying everything in a way as to not panic me. They didn't really think it was Adam's remains. Another boy was missing, a boy a little older, and they thought it might be him. I told them that Adam's dentist was Dr. Marshall Berger and that his office was in Hollywood. Then they told me that John Monahan would be going up to Indian River. The next call was from Good Morning America segment producer. "John, we've heard that there have been some remains found north of Hollywood that might possibly be Adam's." "It's up to you, John. It's your call. You can go ahead with the appearance, or you can certainly feel free to cancel. If you'd like to be flown home immediately, we can arrange that. Because this may be too painful for you, you have to consider what might happen if these remains turn out to be Adam's." I told them that no one was sure that this had anything to do with Adam, and that no matter what was going to happen, we wouldn't know anything for some time. We have to go ahead with the appearance, I said. You're our only hope. This is the only chance we have to get Adam's picture on national television. And you know what? I want to bring pictures of other missing kids. Because whatever else happens, at least we'll be able to get some publicity for other people's children. They said, okay, then that's what we'll do. We'll send the car over to pick you up. I was in the bathroom shaving when the third call came. I picked up the extension and it was Charlie Brennan. Charlie, I said, I don't know anything. They're getting the dental records. He said, John, the location is 120 miles north of Hollywood. We aren't going to know anything for a long time. It was just a short phone call. I didn't tell Reve. I didn't tell her anything. I was scared to death, hoping against hope. I had a horrible, paralyzing feeling, but I wasn't going to let anybody know. I was the guy with the stiff upper lip. I knew what I had to do. I was prepared to go on television to plead for my son. I had this picture. I knew exactly what I was going to say. I had it all memorized. First, a description of what he looks like. Then, where he was seen last. If they gave me 30 seconds, I was going to cram it all into 30 seconds. If they gave me 5 minutes, I could go on longer about how he acted, what his favorite games were, everything about him. I knew that Reve wasn't going to say much. It was my job to do the talking and to get in everything that I could in that short time, and then still cover Eaton Pat's case, show his picture, and talk about other children too. But I had it down. I was going to do it all. If she wasn't going to say anything on this, if I was her yet again, I would have been down there trying to see if it's my fucking kid. Again, there's twice.
Right.
Like,
not only that, but like the inconsistencies of how long she was gone, and possibly
yes,
this old guy, and that's what made the police be so suspect of her at first.
Yeah,
was the inconsistencies. It wasn't just because they were being jerks. I mean, there was a reason why that they felt that way at first.
I agree.
But now I will say, if she's really losing her kid, maybe she could be in shock or sedated. They could have been giving her, medication, to kind of keep her looped up or whatever, especially if he is in some kind of a secret society and this did go the another way, he would keep her doped up. I mean, she probably wouldn't even know about this, to be honest with you.
Well, she doesn't know about a lot of anything either because her husband won't tell her.
Right, he keeps her under the dark and in control. Like, he controls her. He is a complete control freak.
Yeah, he is, and that's not right. If I was her and I found out he was lying to me and not telling me things, I'd beat the shit out of him. We wouldn't be husband and wife. He'd be gone. I mean,
she could have had something like Stockhouse syndrome or something. Like people that stay with abusers, they learn to identify with them, and they like almost feel they can't get away from them because they had some separation or something at one time, and then they still got back together.
And she had an affair too.
Yeah, and that's probably looking for actual love, and you know what I'm saying? Like
that's what she said.
Yeah.
That he wasn't there for her ever. And then he said that he didn't blame her for the affair because he wasn't there.
Right. No, obviously. And that's another weird thing. I wrote it down when you were reading about how busy and bustly the New York trips were and all that stuff. It just came back to my memory about how he said he would take Adam all the time with him. And I'm thinking, what would you do with a toddler if you were so busy that you couldn't sit down and do anything else?
Yeah. Or why couldn't his wife come with,
Right. It's just weird. That's weird to me. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. The call almost threw me off track. Stay focused, I told myself. You got to stay focused. Reve and I had finished getting dressed, and when we arrived at the studio, everyone was so gracious to us. When we were on the air, David Hartman covered everything. He got it all in, Adam's description, Adam's picture. They got the other pictures of children on too, and I talked about other parents' cases. Like any good interviewer, David Hartman had to deal with all the information that he had and understood that. Johnny said, this morning, there have been information that some remains have been found in the canal near Vero Beach. I don't think it's Adam, I said, but no matter what happens, we wanted to come on the show anyway, because all these other children. The whole time, Reve was sitting there next to me, not saying a word, looking like a bomb had gone off in her head. Afterward, everyone said, good luck, we're praying for you. They were gentle with us. We thanked everyone and left the studio, and I remember thinking that Reve seemed buoyed by it. Because after all that we had been through in those past 2 weeks, we had finally done the impossible. We had badgered our way through. We had persevered. We had gotten Adam's face in a story on national television when hundreds and hundreds of other parents, even Julie in New York City, had been turned down. We had gotten further than any parents of any other missing child had ever gotten before. See, he recognized...
There he goes again. I was going to say, we're thinking the same thing.
I'm saying he's one entitled fuck.
Exactly. Like, and then he admits it on one hand and brags about it, but then it starts bitching that nobody helped him. We were finally getting some help. Somebody's finally helping us. But the whole time they were getting the red carpet treatment.
Yes, and that's what makes me mad, because he just admitted several times that nobody else gets this. He knows he's the only one getting this.
Exactly.
So, be thankful.
That's what I'm
For
saying.
one,
Dang.
Jesus, why? My sister Jane, Reve, Kristen, and Julie all decided to go over to the plaza for something to eat. They wanted to talk, to strategize, and Jane had traveled all over the world. She was sophisticated, and when she said she'd look out for Reve, it felt safe in letting her go off with them. Tell me exactly where you're going to be, I said. She pointed up the street. Okay, I told her. I'm going to go back up to the room to make phone calls. I walked back to the hotel, went upstairs, and waited. I just waited. I sat on the bed by myself saying, it can't be. Nobody could do this. Nobody. Nobody could kill this little boy. There's no creature on the planet who could do that. By that point, I knew that there were people out there who did that, but not to this little boy, not to this one, not to ours, not to mine. He was too gentle and gracious and beautiful a child. Then the phone rang. Is this Mr. John Walsh? Yes, it is. Mr. Walsh, we are so very sorry to have to tell you this, but the remains that were found last night in Vero Beach have been positively identified as Adams. Shit. I went down.
The thing is, that's like those Brian Laundrie things. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Like
that was the fucked up case too.
Yeah, like the tooth thing, and that's the only thing that's left to identify
Yeah.
by, and it's like, I don't know.
And the parents found it. That was weird.
Right.
I
After
don't
they
think
just
that.
walked in there with a backpack, and they just
Yeah.
went right directly to find. Oh, and you could read the letters; they were perfectly fine. But his body was completely just disintegrated underwater. But his book, amazingly, you could still read it. Fine,
Yeah.
under
How's
all
that?
water. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, come on!
Yeah,
I've
something's up there.
spilled water on my notebook before, and you know how the pages will stick together and you can't
Yes,
read them,
you
and then
can't.
like, come on! I mean, we are not idiots.
No.
Well,
No,
most people
no.
are not.
No, not at all.
But just saying, that's weird that it's
Yep.
like they take the same playbook so long later and use the
Exactly.
same little things.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, like, I'm not laughing. I'm just like amazed that this is that brazen. Honestly,
I agree. Oh, okay. I went down, right on the floor. I felt like somebody took a huge wooden stake and shoved it into the wall of my chest. Like somebody killed me right there on the floor. I couldn't breathe. I thought I was having a heart attack. I felt like I was dying. Please let me trade places with him. Death would have hurt me so much less. I thrashed, I screamed, I yelled, I pushed over, I went down. I pushed over the mattresses.
He's pissing you off.
Yeah, because it's
He's
more
pissing you off.
I. How the fuck do you think?
Yes,
You know.
exactly.
I broke glass. I broke a picture frame. I tore sheets. I threw lamps. I kicked the table over. I was wounded. I'm dying. I can't deal with this. It was unbearable. I thought my heart was going to explode. I feel like a wounded animal that's dead. I had to know.
Literally, you need to circle those eyes and count them.
There's so many. Oh my God. None of it even came close. If anyone had walked in and rusted knife and said, I'm going to spend 2 days killing you slowly with this blade, but after I do that, I will let your boy go, I would have begged them, please. The little boy I had waited all my life to have was dead. Someone must have heard me screaming because 2 security guards came to the door. They knew by then someone had let the management know. Everyone was hearing about it. There were their faces of the security people saying, Mr. Walsh, can we get a doctor for you? I don't think I answered them. I was saying, how am I going to tell my wife? How am I ever going to tell Reve? How can I tell her? She's his mother. I shouldn't tell her this. Oh my God.
It's still him. It's still about him. Not even really Reve.
Exactly. But there's no one else to tell her. I had to get her back to the hotel. I had to call the plaza, and I had to ask for my sister. I had to have them page Jane, and she came to the phone, and I said, it's over. You must not tell Reve. Don't you tell. What?
Like, she's not going to find out. I mean.
Yeah. I will tell her. I have to tell her. You bring her back to me at the hotel. You do it right now. Because I have to tell her. Holy frig. Reve was sitting at the bar, waiting. Someone came over to say something to Jane, and then she told Reve that they had to leave because I was waiting for her back in the hotel room. She remembers walking back, knowing that she was going to get bad news, but hadn't quite gotten it yet. Jane was saying, it's okay, it's okay. The whole way back, all the way up in the elevator, Reve kept patting Jane's hand, telling her, it's all right, I'm going to be all right. Then they came to the door of our hotel room, and I opened it, and I said, our baby's dead. And Reve said, I know. I don't know how she knew. Well, probably she's not an idiot. I mean, that, and it's obvious. I don't know. I know, she says. I had already watched her for 2 weeks suffering. It was like seeing somebody being tortured slowly in front of you, and then watching them let out a last sigh and die. At first, she turned from me and started putting her clothes into a suitcase like a robot. Then Jane left, and the door was closed. And as I watched, the spirit that made her who she was slowly collapse into her as if her whole being was caving in on itself.
I believe that
Yeah.
because her acting robotic and doing the suitcase thing. I mean, like when my dad died, I remember not being able to think how to put my bra on, and that
Yeah.
just hit me when he
That's
said that.
crazy.
Like that
Yeah.
seems very real of a of a
Reaction?
response reaction. I don't think if something did happen weird with him, I don't think Reve knew about it. You know what I'm
No,
saying? I
I don't
really
think
don't. And she may be a certain way, but I just don't think she knew about it.
so. Me neither. She was still my wife, but she went from being a girl to an old woman right before my eyes. I didn't know what to do for her except hold her, hug her, and told her I couldn't say we're going to live through this. We're going to make it. I could not say those useless things. There was nothing to be said except I love you. So that's what I said over and over. I hung on to her. I tried to console her, and she tried to comfort me. We were like two wounded, dying animals. I watched my father die of the most painful cancer. I'd been in a car accident where a man died in my arms. It's not a huge, earth shattering event to see someone die. I don't think it is. What? I, it's not a huge, earth shattering event to see someone die?
It was pretty earth shattering to me.
You think? What the fuck?
Um,
I don't think it is. Wow.
that's weird. Is that how he said it?
Yes, he says it's not a huge, earth shattering event to see someone die. Period. I don't think it is.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe that he's put that in that book.
Then he
Honestly,
says, oh, unless it's your child. Children are supposed to outlive us. I don't give a shit who died. It's
let
not
me tell you
normal.
something. When my grandma died and I held her hand, well, she died. When my mama died, I held her hand. You know, my daddy, he just died in his sleep. But but I got to see his body there in the bed. And I'm just
Yeah.
going to say that, look, I don't care if your parents die, if your best friend dies, or, you know what I'm saying, your
Yeah.
spouse or whoever. Listen, that's some earth shattering stuff. Now, I admit, probably nothing could ever be if you have to bury your child now. I
No.
100% agree with that. You know, because
Yeah.
you're not supposed to bury your children. You understand one day you will bury your parents. But still, when it happens, it's earth shattering.
Yeah. It is. But
Dang.
to say what he
Uh,
said is just wow.
it's almost like he doesn't have any empathy.
Yeah.
Real empathy. I mean, he can show it like a chameleon, but I mean, like real hard down empathy.
Yeah. So he says children are supposed to outlive us. They are immortality. They are a legacy. They are special. They are a special part of life. They are to be revered and loved with an unconditional love. It's not about partnership or a merger. It has nothing to do with money. It's not about the bond of being a brother or a stepbrother. Your child is part of you. Yeah, but so is your parents and grandparents and
He
the
looks at
fuck.
narcissists look at their children as an extension of themselves.
Yep.
So if they think they're all that in a bag of chips, then you see their offspring is the same as them. You know what I'm saying? They
Yep.
almost look at them as a possession, not even a little person of their own.
That's what it feels like and sounds like too. Actually, the way he talks about his child,
Yeah.
it's like a possession. Yeah. The phone rang again. This time it was GMA producer John. I've got some really great news. Every talk show wants you, every radio station. We'll find Adam. We'll get his name all over the place. And I said, he's dead. While we were in New York, Graham had stayed at our house on McKinley Street with Jeff and Les and Joe. It was Jeff who told her that the sheriff had called to say that they had found a body up in Indian River, but that they didn't know if it was Adam because this boy might be a little older. My mother remembers sitting there all night, waiting for the sun to come up, and then toward morning, in the semi-darkness, Jeff came into her room. He was gentle and as big as the doorway. He sat down at the foot of her bed and said, Graham, we found Adam. Then my mother got terrible pain in her chest that went up one arm, across the throat, and down the other arm. They had to call for a doctor who came right over and gave her something. He sat there with her and held her hand until she could absorb all of it, until she understood that it was finally over. She should have went to the hospital. I wouldn't have told her if she was that old. I would have put her in the.
No. Yeah,
Yeah,
I told her at the hospital
I
for
do not
sure.
fear.
Oh, and Nan, I agree with you. I don't fear death either at all. And I actually think that my parents are better off where they are than the
Yeah.
hell I'm having to live in. And depending on what people believe, I agree with that. But at the same time, it's still, even though I have tremendous faith, I
Yeah.
mean, I really do. And even though I know that I'm going to see my parents again one day, like it was still so earth shattering. So it's
Yeah.
like two things can be the same. You can grieve, just because, like, I mean, because I'm 100% with you. If I go, I'm not worried about that or where I'm going. I mean, I do think about what my children would have to go through, or
Yeah.
my husband.
That's what
That's
I'm scared of.
that's what I think about. Yeah,
I'm
not
like
where
my
I'm
son
going.
and my pet. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want my son and my animals to like have to
like
go through a grief because I'm gone because I'm the only
right,
thing they know.
right, and that's me too. Like I feel like death is a transition from one from one soul. You're a soul. We all are
Yeah.
spirits. So I just think it's like almost a metamorphosis process or a transitional process into a different realm. But I still like just feel so bad for my because I know how it hurt me when my mom and dad passed.
Yeah.
And I just don't want my children to have to grieve and experience that. And I've told them that. Like I hope
Exactly.
they throw a party for me. I
That's what I
don't want them
want
to
too.
cry. Yeah.
Yeah. I want them to have a party. I think they should
Yeah.
have a party, get drunk, get stoned, do whatever you got to do.
Exactly.
Have fun.
Yeah. You know what they told me? My son told me, he said, well, when mama dies, we're just going to take her and roll her up in a blunt and pass it around. They were like, because she'll be with us one last time.
Oh my
Now,
god.
wait a minute. Now I'm talking about my grown kids that are in the 30s now.
Yeah. That's funny. Some people do that though. I can't remember
I've never,
what it
I've
is, but
never heard,
they
never heard that.
the parties I've heard about. I don't know if it's Irish or
Well, I'm Irish. I mean,
is it
partly
okay.
Native
They have
American and Irish.
maybe okay, Russians maybe, but they have these parties when you die. They actually sit you up in a chair. You stay in the room, and your all of your family members are there, and they're all drinking and getting drunk, and they're celebrating your death. That's what I want. I don't know what the hell is it. It's not a religion. It's just like a culture. It's uh, I don't know who does that now. I thought it was Irish for some reason.
I don't know. I've never heard of it, but I
Can't
mean,
think of
I
it.
thought it was funny. I laughed because
Yeah,
it would be a way to. It'd be a good send off.
yeah, exactly. That's what I did for my one friend. We all went there and we all celebrated. We all got shit faced and cheers him and everything. He was cremated, so we put a beer there for him to drink,
Yep,
and we all partied and it was fun.
we did that with my
We
dad
cried.
too. Yep,
Yep, it was fun.
I think it's better that way
Me
for your
too.
for your loved ones.
And I don't want anyone to wear black. I want them to wear bright colors.
No, yeah,
I want them to wear like
I would wear purple. That's my favorite color.
yeah, I mean, like, I don't care if they're guys or not, and if there's, I don't even care if they're not gay. I want them to wear like hot pink. What is you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like that. My
yeah,
favorite color is pink, so I want them all in something
exactly,
pink. I think that would be awesome.
exactly. I think so. I think so too.
Yeah,
And I think that, like, if you look at death in that way, it really does. Once you're not afraid of death, I mean, what else can they do to you really except mess with your kids?
yeah, and that's
You
my
know?
biggest fear that
Yeah, me too.
if I can't come back as a ghost and protect him still, or I don't know
Well,
what I would. I
I
think I
think
will. I care too much. My heart's
I
too
think
big.
well, my mom, she stayed. I really believe she stayed earthbound about 2 years.
Yeah.
Because she was always around and like orbs and ectoplasmic mist and like stuff that I would go to the cemetery and like sit there. It was our family cemetery of my Native American family side. They were up there and in the Oconee area, and it's just very like country living. And anyway, we had pictures made up there in that old cemetery that's from like the late 1700s, and it's got ancient burial grounds there.
Oh
And
wow.
like I've got a picture of me standing over my mom, like where she's like at like the foot of her
Yeah.
or whatever, right there. And there is a complete. I still have the picture. I'll try to find it, show it to you. But there is a ectoplasmic mist that you can see so clearly right over her grave,
Oh wow.
right standing right in front of me. I didn't see it until we had the picture, developed. It was crazy.
Yeah. Never neat.
So I
So
know that we definitely like if we have loved ones and we just can't maybe like we don't feel comfortable like quite letting go, you
No, I
know.
know I won't. I don't feel comfortable. I care too much. My heart's too big. I have too much anxiety. If I'm dead, I'm not leaving. There's no way in hell I'm leaving. I do believe
Yeah.
in spirits, and I just can't see me leaving. No, I'll have to be here. I have to know what he's doing. I have to know when he's doing it. I have to know if he's okay. I have to know if he's gonna get married. I have to know if he's gonna have kids.
Right.
It's
And well,
ridiculous.
well maybe when he grows up and has kids and then you're able to see they're all fine, then maybe you can go into heaven.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
here like stalking the poor kid, letting him
Yeah.
know I'm here, you know.
And then he's like, Mama, you're starting to creep me out. Like, I don't know if you're
Yeah,
into me
he
and my
will.
wife or what.
Yeah, I guarantee it he will. Because, like, I'll do things, certain things, to show that I love him, and it will scare the shit out of him. I know.
Bless his heart.
Yeah.
Oh, good. He's
I
gonna be
won't
like,
leave him.
Mama, I know you love me, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
need a moment's privacy,
Yeah.
please,
More like,
in
I
the
need a
bathroom.
break. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck off for about a month or two because I'm done.
Go haunt somebody else a while. Go
Like,
haunt Katie.
yeah. Because it'd be me whispering in his ear when he's sleeping, I love you. And he'd be
I
waking
love
up,
you.
freaking out, going, what
Right.
the fuck?
Right. Mom, I know you love me. Let me get some sleep if you love me.
Yeah, let me get some sleep. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm done. Don't come back for a year. I'm done with
Right.
you.
Right. We need a break, Mom. It's nothing personal.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I can totally see it. Or him getting out a Ouija board telling me off.
Right.
Like, you know what?
I really hope you hear me.
I'm gonna call a priest. Screw this, Mom. I'm done.
I'm gonna have you exercise out of my house. Oh gosh.
Oh,
That's
I heard
funny.
Sylvia Brown was a huge flake. Like, she's not even real.
She's not real, no.
No.
No,
Sylvia
no.
Brown said there's no sex in heaven. Well, not yet, but when I get there, find Michael. Heaven's gonna be rocking, my friend said. And I have sex like a bird up there with Michael Landon.
Oh god.
Oh my god, yeah. He's off that one show where he was an angel, right? And then he was also off of
Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
My husband's mom actually danced with him in a dance one year when she was young.
Yeah.
And
Oh
she
my
said he
God.
was really handsome. Like,
Yeah.
in person. I was like, well, he's a little older than me, so like he's out of my age range.
She's a total fraud. Yeah, she is definitely. I remember
Yeah.
my son's grandmother on his dad's side was trying to get me to read a book, and I did, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go watch Montel because she's on that too. And then I read some
Yeah.
she's a fucking fraud.
She
And then all of
is.
a sudden she's like, no, she's not. I'm like, I'm telling you, she's a fraud. I would never purchase a book of hers again. And I said, if I were you, I'd burn the damn thing. Like, she's a liar. She's a
So
fraud.
much of her stuff did never come true. Never. Not
Never.
only that, she would say things that were very ambiguous, like, okay, or you could take it one way or another. In other words, like, okay, I saw something, I was on somebody's page the other night, I won't say who it was or anything, but they were
Yeah.
saying, like, something like, see so and so, so and so. And it was, like, not even had to do with anything. And you know what I'm saying? And it was like,
Yeah,
I mean,
remember
I could tell that they were lying. And
Yeah.
then it was just like they were fishing for information. And I'm
Yes.
like, listen, let me tell you something. If you've got no knowledge, the gift of knowledge, or you know what I'm saying, the gift of prophecy, or any kind of spiritual gifts like that, you don't need to be asking a bunch of questions. Let me tell you something. You
Yeah.
tell people about their self things that they are like, how the heck did you know that? You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Seriously. And you don't need nobody to tell you nothing. You
No.
don't need to ask questions.
No, they should know already.
Right. And she was just like, oh, and then if it wasn't like something, she'd go, oh, and then she'd like make it go another way. I mean, it was just like,
Yeah. It was a complete bull.
yeah.
No, I didn't care for her. I found her very rude.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Now there's that Long Island,
Long Island
medium.
medium?
Yeah, have you ever seen the Teresa? Is her name? I think.
I think so. The blonde.
Yeah, I like her. Yeah, I like her. She seems like she really cares, you know.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like these people get famous and money
Yep.
kind of starts getting to them, and it's like well, when does it transition to when you're really doing it for the people,
Yeah.
or when you're doing it for the the accolades? But I still think she got a real gift, though. I do.
Yeah. I actually met a psychic once, and it wasn't even me I wasn't even going for a reading. I went with my boyfriend's mom at the time. I was fairly young, and she was telling me this relationship you're in right now is not going to work out. You know why it's not going to work out. And I kind of looked at her, but she couldn't tell me what she wanted to say because he was sitting right beside me and just
Oh,
glared at her. And then she's like, "You're also going to get a job. You're going to get more confidence." And I'm like, "What? What the fuck is she talking about?" Everything happened.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's weird because actually the same thing happened to me. I've only been to one once because my grandmother on the other side, my mama's side, like she was a Christian, and she was like, "No, don't be doing that," you know. But then she's the one that ended up paying for it. But I don't know if you ever heard of a lady named Mary Green, but she was
Mhm.
very famous, like, and she predicted like our stadium was gonna fall, and like actually the police used her um
Oh yeah.
like to find people and stuff. Anyway, so I rode with a friend and she just said, "Do you want me to, while you're here?" And I was like, "Sure," and I called my grandma and she paid for it. But
Yeah.
I was like, but I was there already. We drove all the way like to Augusta, Georgia. So I was like, I'm here. I might as well go. Like, listen to this. My tubes had been tied. Okay. I
Yeah.
was still married technically to the jerk that I've told you about before
Yeah.
that I call Satan. And
Yep.
I actually though was seeing the man I'm married now because I wasn't being intimate with that man. We were only in the house to help with the kids together. That was it. But like, we didn't tell everybody about it. There was some people that knew, like our parents. But now listen to this. My friend that I went with did not know. But she sat there and told me, she said, "You're gonna have another baby." I had already had my tubes tied though.
Yeah.
And had
That's
three kids.
possible.
She said, "You're gonna
Wow.
have another baby. It's gonna be a girl." And she said, "And it's not gonna be with your husband now, but it's gonna be with the dark haired guy you're seeing." I was like,
That-
"What?" And she did it
That's
on she did it on a cassette tape, and I let him hear it. And he was like, "That's freaky as hell." He was like, but and I didn't think I'd ever have any kids. Listen, I had my tubes reversed, and I really did get pregnant. That's a long story for another night, but it was a freaking crazy miracle. I'm not
yeah.
even kidding. And it was
Yeah.
a girl. I had a dream, like I lifted her legs up, and it was a girl, and I saw exactly what she looked like. And so every single thing that she said came true. I married the guy,
Yeah.
so it was my
Poor
husband, just
me.
not this one. It was a girl, and I had a child. And I told her, I said, "There is no possible way I can have a child. I've had my tubes tied." She goes, "I don't care, honey." And she was smoking, and she sounded like that girl on Beetlejuice, that woman on Beetlejuice that died of throat cancer.
Oh my god.
And she was like, "Well, I can't help that because I'm gonna just tell you, you're gonna have
Yeah.
another girl." It was so funny, but it really did all come true.
Yeah. I would love to see a psychic actually. Just
She's dead now. I said, I wonder if she knew she was gonna die.
that's the thing. I think they would.
Mm.
I don't know.
I don't know if
I
I'd
think-
want to know.
Yeah, I don't know want to know when I die or how I die, but I just kind of want to know if I'm doing the right thing. Am I gonna have more children? Because I really want some, but I'm
Right,
not gonna force it. Am I gonna just be one of those ladies that are gonna be alone? Because I'm happy with that.
right.
Yeah,
If
I don't
something
know. I'm
happens
just
to my
curious.
husband, I'm serious. I just don't know if I'll. I can't. I don't think I'll ever get married again. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't even think I ever will, and that's fine with me. I'm sorry
That's
you
fine with
lost
me
your
too.
son, Nan. Oh,
Oh
lost her
no.
son at 5.5 months along. I was freaking out.
Oh no.
Then her father told her, "Stop. There is a reason he was taken so soon or taken too soon." He raised her that way. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so
I can see you,
sorry.
Teresa.
Oh,
So
hey,
that's the
Teresa.
medium, Teresa Caputo.
Yeah, Teresa Caputo. That's it. Do you like her, Teresa? Or have you ever watched her?
I watched her a long time ago.
It has been literally 10 years, probably or better.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna finish up this book. It's not too long, and then we're wait. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got like a couple pages, and then we're on chapter or apparently book 3. All right, so
Oh,
let's finish this here.
okay.
Okay, so after she could absorb all of it until she understood that it was finally over. That was his mother. My mother didn't learn until a few days later, when Gilbert hit in the house, that we had only found trigger warning. That we had only found part of Adam's body.
Mm.
Even worse than that, she says, was the one thought that she could not get out of her mind of how frightened Adam must have been when he finally realized what was happening to him. They took us in a car from our hotel to the airport. We didn't know where to go or what to do. We only knew that we had to go home. We were like two helpless children. We were reduced to being children. The security people took us right out to the runway, and I thought of all the help that the airline people had given us. How pilots had put stacks of Adam's Missing posters under their seats and taken them all over the county. How they'd flown us places and been so wonderful to us. They put us on a plane for Florida, and we waited for 2 hours to take off because of the air traffic controller's strike. It was the longest plane ride of my life. When we landed at the Fort Lauderdale airport, it was late Tuesday night, and when we got off of the airplane, all of a sudden a million lights and cameras were in our faces. I couldn't understand. What did these people want to see exactly? Two destroyed human beings on a 6 o'clock news? It was chaos. We lost Jane in the crowd, got swept away from her. Someone ushered us into a VIP lounge to give us some breathing room. Hervé went into the bathroom and, in the middle of everything, suddenly found herself alone. Later, she told me that she had stood there for a long time looking at herself in the mirror and trying to make herself believe it. Your little boy is dead. They cut his head off, she said, looking right into her own eyes.
Dang. I mean, think about if she really was told that. And,
Fuck.
you know what I'm saying? Like, if that wasn't that, I mean, if it didn't happen. But they still had to tell her that to make it believable. I was just thinking of how bad it is either way. That's so sad.
Jesus. We got home. We could barely get up the driveway to our front door. Reporters were all over the lawn, camped out on our street. Cops were there to try to protect us, and they had to rush people back just so we could get into the house, like we were going to the Oscars.
What?
Yeah.
The Oscars.
Entitled. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Then with our little boy, we walked across the threshold. It wasn't a home anymore. It was a building. It meant nothing now. Without Adam in it, it was nothing. A place to keep our clothes. It was now the area where we were forced to return to at night to be reminded that we were never going to take him on another trip, that he was never going to play with his toys again, that we would never again put him to bed in his room. And then gradually, after a few hours, the press finally went away. Some out of common decency, others because they gave up. Then it was only Hervé and me. We didn't sleep. We were lying on the floor, crying, hanging on to each other, weeping. Then at 4 o'clock in the morning, there was a knock on the door. I thought it was the Hollywood police telling us that a suspect had been picked up. But when I answered the door, it was a woman staring at me. Mr. Walsh, I'm a reporter, and I need to get a comment about Adam's murder tonight because my editor said that if I don't get a quote from you tonight for tomorrow's editions, I'm going to be fired. At first, I just stood there. Yeah, I would have punched her.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. At first, I just stood there. I wasn't sure of what I had heard. I was trying to catch it again. What did you just say to me? Who are you? And then it sank in, and I finally lost it completely. You tell that fucking coward son of a bitch to come over here right now because I'm going to pound his ass to a bleeding pulp. You take your notebook and get the hell off my fucking lawn. Do you hear me? You get the hell out of here and leave us the hell alone. Holy, I would have done that too.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just the beginning. That was just my baptism. Next morning, it was all in the papers. Adam Walsh found dead, discovered in Vero Canal. Adam's body found. 16 days of agony grow into horrid, tragic climax. As parents pleaded, police suspected worse. Talking to them, Les Davies let fly. The FBI got involved in looking for a mare that was impregnated by a secretariat. They looked for a goddamn horse because the foal would be worth $500,000. I get what?
Who looks for an animal before they look for a person? Is that what he's mad about, though? I mean, like, they were looking
the FBI,
for
got involved looking for a mare that was impregnated. They looked for a goddamn horse.
Well,
because it would have been worth $500,000.
That's crazy.
I guess a child's life isn't worth that much. Wow. On Thursday, we had to wait for Adam at a local funeral home. And then on Saturday, August 15th, 1981, at St. Maurice's Catholic Church in Hollywood, Florida, his funeral. Catholics believe that children who die before the age of 7, the age of reason, aren't capable of making a moral choice to sin. So when they die, they enter immediately into the presence of God. That's why the funeral service for a child is called a Mass of the Angels. I didn't know that.
And I don't know about the Mass of the Angels and all that because I'm not Catholic, but we definitely believe that children that are born before the age of like knowing what the difference of good and evil is and all that kind of stuff, like automatically, like their body, they go straight back, to heaven, like because they're innocent. So similar.
More than 1,000 people attended Adam's funeral. My cousin, Father Michael Conboy, a pastor in upstate New York, gave the eulogy and ended with the words, "We'll see you again, Cooter, we promise." I remember asking him, and Is this the benevolent God that we have worshipped our whole lives? Is this an all powerful, benevolent, gentle God who allowed this to happen? Tell me about that one, would you, Father Mike? Explain to me how it is that I'm supposed to deal with this. He didn't have any answers. Nobody had any answers. So many people came to the funeral that most of them had to stand outside the church. We put a picture of Adam on top of a small white casket. There was nothing inside it. We were not given anything to bury.
What? What about the head?
What the? Okay.
I would be
They
want if that was my son, I would want that
yeah.
so I could bury it and there would be something there.
So we were not given anything to bury. They told me that the casket was only a symbolic thing. They had to keep the remains for evidence in case anyone ever come forward and confessed. Then they could see if the confession matched the evidence.
Oh.
That doesn't even make sense because that's all they had back then.
But they already had pictures of the dental records or whatever. They
Yeah.
already had the dentist that said, okay, it's a match. So if somebody came forward, as long as they've got like the X-rays, you know what I'm saying, of the dental, they wouldn't need
Yeah.
the actual thing, and they could have still buried it because they've exhumed plenty of people.
Well, that and if they're only waiting for a confession for someone to come forward with a confession, that doesn't even make sense. Give me my boy. I want to bury him. Like,
Exactly. Like when
that's fucking
you
weird.
know, I want a place to be able to go. I don't want an empty casket. In other words, like no.
Yeah. That's wow. I didn't know
I would
that.
at least like want the ashes, to take home with me
That's
maybe
what
or
I would think.
something.
I'd want the
Like,
ashes. I want to put in a
yeah,
necklace or something to carry around,
keep with me all
every
the
day.
time.
Yes,
Yeah,
me too.
man, that really makes me sad for that mother.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be able to handle that one. Okay, so the last of this says, apparently the children's choir sang. They said, "Children of the heavenly Father, safely in the bosom to gather, nestling birds, nor star in heaven, such a refuge was given." Then the children gave us a banner that they had made. In gold lettering on white cloth it read, "If his song is to continue, then we must do the singing." We knew that his was supposed to mean the Lord, but to us it meant Adam because it was Adam's testament. That was Adam's song. Huh?
I don't even understand that. What?
So the children gave us a banner that they had made, and in gold lettering on white cloth it read, "If his song is to continue, then we must do the singing." Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, I understand that. Okay.
But then John says, "We knew that his word, his, was supposed to mean the Lord." What?
That I don't
If his
understand.
song is to continue, okay, so they're saying we knew what the word his was supposed to mean, the Lord. Well, yeah, that's what I would assume. But to
Right.
okay, but to us it meant Adam. So if Adam's song is to continue, then we must do the singing, is what he's thinking that it should have said, not God, because it was
Oh.
Adam's song.
Okay.
Uh,
Uh, I don't know. That's weird.
yeah,
That kind of reminds me of that Kylie Rodney funeral a little bit
yep,
with the banners and the thing writing on them and the like some kind of a ceremony type thing, like not a thing like we were talking about having a real celebration of life, but
yeah,
seemed kind of ritualistic or something.
yeah. I'm gonna end it there because now we're on chapter 9. But the
Oh
first
yeah,
beginning of it says people couldn't stand us. Oh fuck.
you
Then he
don't think?
says, then he says, but they loved us. They were concerned for us and they knew it and they loved us and they just knew this was new territory for us. It was like people couldn't stand you, but then you're saying they loved us and they're concerned
Literally,
for us.
Nikki. Who
What?
does that sound like? Who does that sound like?
This sounds like a wackadoodle named KJ.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that's the male version of KJ.
Yeah, what the fudge? Oh
Can
my
you
god.
imagine if those two got together and put their evil powers
Oh,
at work together?
yeah, this is where if anybody does believe in God, I'd be saying God help us because
Hmm.
wow.
And let me tell you something. Even with faith, that don't mean that death is easy.
No.
I mean, when for somebody else that you love, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that's just a selfish part of us because we want our loved ones to always be with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
As long as possible. And of course, we want them to be at peace if they're not at peace, like they're old and suffering and that kind of thing. But for us, we want them here with us because we love them,
Yeah, we don't want
and,
them ever to go away.
and that's okay because like. okay, in my belief, I believe in God. So I believe that God created us with these emotions so he understands them. And if you're mad at him sometimes, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
He understands. You know, I've been mad at him plenty of times, and I've told him a thing or two about a thing or two. But he loves
told,
me
he
anyway.
told God about himself.
I've had a real conversation like that. But
Maybe he
look,
was being sarcastic. No, I think he actually thought that he's making it sound like those children screwed up and they shouldn't have put he, they should have said Adam, and that's not right at all.
mm-mm.
Um,
That's just strange to me, especially if he says he's a Catholic.
I think
Why
he's
would he? You know what I'm saying? I think that's so weird.
yeah,
And
very.
I'm not a Catholic or anything. You know what I'm saying? But I even think that's strange.
Oh,
That
I probably don't, Deb. Probably not at all. I'm just reading it and taking it as I see it. You know what I mean? Those are just my opinions.
right. Well, I think he's narcissist. I'm sorry.
Me
So
too.
I think that a lot of things he puts, he will say, like he'll pump it all up. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But then on the other hand, he'll like say the exact opposite of it. It's almost like he gaslights
Yeah.
himself or something. I don't know. It's weird. Or
Yeah.
you know what I was thinking? Like I wonder if Reve wrote some of this book, and those are the parts that may seem a little more uh actual, like authentic feeling. You know what I'm saying? And then I wonder if he wrote some of it,
Yeah.
or you know what I'm saying? Like maybe both people gave their stories and they just put it all together, and maybe so that's why, because it almost seems kind of schizophrenic. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Or a double mindedness or something. Like in one hand he thought he was all that and a bag of chips. He was killing sharks and
Yeah. I
saving
didn't like that
kids.
at all.
I mean, that was just like, I mean, it was insane. Like, my
Mm-hmm.
husband was listening to that whole thing, and I'm serious. He was over there rolling, laughing, and he every time he would hear you talk about something, he would just hit his knee and start just laughing.
Well, yeah, because it's like, holy shit, what hasn't happened to you, man? What
I
the?
mean,
It was just unbelievable. There's no way any of that happened. I just don't
I
believe
mean, I
it.
don't know. I think he.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean, and I know that probably some of the people hadn't like maybe read the book from the beginning and all that to know what we're talking about.
Oh,
But I mean, that was just chapter after chapter of
yeah,
like how great John Walsh is.
exactly. And how he saved somebody, and how he did this, and how he did that, and oh, he brought the boy back to life. He saved him, and he was drowning, and oh, he saved him. And then it was like, oh, my wife's pregnant, but I left her in with fucking sharks. But I,
With chum around her,
oh my
with
god,
with
yeah,
fish
that,
on a line.
and a woman who doesn't know how to swim. So that was real smart.
Exactly. Oh, and how about when he tied his sister to the tree?
Ugh.
Remember, and cut her hair off.
Yes, yes, that was cruel as hell.
So you think about that, like if he's doing that kind of stuff when he's little, you know, we were talking about like Jeffrey Dahmer earlier. Like I'm not saying he's kind of eating Jeffrey Dahmer or anything, but
Yeah.
kids that do things like that when they're little, you know what I'm saying? You do kind of have to worry about their, you know, their mental health.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I just this the beginning of that book, like the first what 2 chapters was just. I think we were all laughing and in awe.
We were. I
It
mean,
was
it was
unbelievable.
so funny because it was
Yeah,
just like it was one thing after another, and one thing like the next thing got better each time he
yeah. It
told the
was just more
story. It
unbelievable
was
and more
like,
exaggerated and more. It's like holy shit, you damn John Walsh, you are God. You know what I
all
mean?
right. Oh,
Holy,
it's
is that your nickname?
it,
Was it God? Because it might as well
right.
be the way you put
You know
yourself.
how you know you see some doctors have a God complex. Well,
Oh
I mean, he has definitely got a God complex for
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah.
Teresa said, "Aren't there two people who wrote the book?" I don't know. Is there, Nikki? Can you see on the book?
There is so it's written by John Walsh with Susan, some girl named Susan Shindahet, something like that.
Oh, well,
Um but and it's
maybe.
also got a part in it that Breve wrote. Hold on, I'm gonna look more into it because I don't let me see here. Yeah, I'm just seeing here. At least I got a lot of helplines on the back, but this is from like the 80s. Okay, so Susan is a senior writer for People magazine and a former correspondent for Time magazine, and she lives in New York City. So she helped him with this.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of
Yes.
people get ghostwriters and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know, especially their. I don't know if that was his first book or whatever, but I
I don't
imagine it
know. We
probably
did
was.
do it. It's written from John Walsh and Susan. So
Yeah.
we both did it. And then Reve had her little part that she wanted. So she probably just talked to Susan, I would imagine, and Susan put it in that
Right.
made the writing different. Yeah. Hey, Melanie.
Hey. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
four
get that.
twenty.
No, I get it. I get it. I mean, I would be the same way. It's just unbelievable. He had more help than anyone in the world, and he's still bitching and
Ever. Ever.
ever. Yeah, he got his son on a milk cart for God's sakes. That's how that started. I mean, he did set up a movement that helped people. Yeah, that was the only
Right.
thing I could see good that comes out of it. But it was just like the whole time being like, I don't know. I don't like him. I just don't. He's way too conceited and narcissistic to me.
Narcissistic,
Yeah.
for sure. And the way he treated his wife, and even
Yep.
thought of his wife and spoke of his wife, is
Yeah.
this is out of his own mouth too. This is not like we're hearing this
Yeah.
secondhand. I mean, we read it out of his own words, and the way he would address and say things about his wife, and just
Yeah.
leave her behind all the time, and like it's just so uncaring. And like I think she has even said and admitted that's why the affair. You
Yeah, it
know,
is.
like
Because he left her all the time. So this guy moved in. It was their oh,
pool
what
boy.
was it
It was
again?
their pool
Yeah, it was
boy.
a freaking pool boy. Then he
Yeah.
started spending the night. Then John started asking him to do manly things around the house, like gardening or mowing the lawn and
It's
fixing
almost like
the
he
house.
didn't care as long as
He
it kept
didn't.
his wife happy so he could go
Yep,
do what he wanted to do.
exactly. Because when he found out, he didn't even care. He blamed himself, he says,
Yep.
for what we know, anyways. That's what he's saying.
Well, he's saying that, but who knows really what
Yeah.
happened or how he feels. And who knows what that lady has lived through.
Yeah. Well, especially if he's taking his son up to where he's working and stuff for weekends or for a week. What does
I mean,
she do?
leaving you at home and she only had that one child and her husband. Like,
Yeah.
I could understand it if they had already had another child by that time, but they did not.
No, why couldn't she go? I would have been like, no, you can leave him with me actually, and then you can, or we'll come up and visit you for a couple nights every now and then. But no, what the fuck am I gonna do? No, I don't think so.
Exactly.
That
No, I would have been going because I'd been like, why are you taking my toddler off to New York whenever you're constantly
yeah,
gone?
who's
Like, who's
watching my
watching the
son?
baby?
Who's watching
Exactly.
my son while you're up there? No, I'm
Exactly.
his
I
mother.
think
I
I'll
will
go
watch him.
watch.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
So
like,
I don't want to.
why can't you stay in the room or go out and do things and shop with your child while your
Yeah,
husband and like that's what I used to do. You know,
exactly. Yeah.
heck
No,
no.
I raised my son 100%. I mean, his father did work every now and then, and every time he did, like we were always gone doing things. I mean,
Right.
it,
That was my time with my kids. That was
yeah,
fun. You know, like to get to go things, do things like in the summer break. You know, going to the lake, going to the movies, doing whatever. You know,
yeah,
while my husband was at work, and I cherish and treasure
me
those
too.
times.
Me too. I loved it. We did everything together. I mean, so if, his dad starts saying, well, okay, well, I have to go up here for a week. I'm going to take Leland with me. I'd be like, well, I'm going too.
Oh, over my dead body without me.
Yeah. I would be like, either I'm going to or that's a no from me.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can tell you're an awesome mom. I mean, honestly, like any kid would
Yeah.
be so lucky to have you for a parent. You were talking about foster parenting possibly or something the other
Yeah.
day. And I was
Yeah.
just thinking, well, if anything ever happened to my granddaughter and I was not able to do it, like I would sure wish somebody like you would be able to
Yeah.
do
I
it
think that
because
it's, instead of bringing children into this world, because I don't have a partner and I'm not going to set out to look for a partner. It's just, I don't think it's in the cards for me. So, which is fine. I'm going to have to deal with that. But
there
if
always
that
are
can't
sperm
happen,
banks, you know.
yeah, and if it won't happen, if that doesn't happen, then maybe I could foster. I mean, at least I'd be helping out these poor children.
Somebody, yeah.
Yeah,
And you would, and there are so many people involved in the foster system
yeah,
that are not good people and they only do it for the money, not because they
yep,
really care about the kids. And the
yeah,
poor children, like I've seen these things and the conditions and I've heard of people who work for social services talk about things and like,
yeah.
man, I'm telling you, I don't know how those people can do those jobs. Like,
Well, I don't know how they have jobs because I don't know how that's allowed to happen.
I don't
'Cause
either
I don't
because
like, from my understanding, they don't have enough apparently not enough pull. But I mean, reporting is reporting. I don't know.
And I could not. I'll tell you this, unless I knew for a fact like a kid was being SA'd, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, or starved, or completely severely neglected, like not
Yeah.
being fed and all that kind of stuff. Now, if a parent just might have like a addiction or something, but they
Yeah.
were still functioning, and somebody just called and told on them, and they got found out that they were smoking weed, or they were taking some pills, or they, what I'm saying, like, I don't think you should take those children away. I'm sorry,
No.
but that is more detrimental to a child to be jerked away from their what they know.
Absolutely. And what I find that when they're taken out of their home, they're put into a worse place.
They are,
Very much
and I'm
so.
like, where they can't be protected from
Yeah.
bad things happening. And a lot of those kids that are missing in the Center for Missing and Exploited Children actually get gone from foster homes, and
Yeah.
nobody ever looks for them. Never.
No,
They're just
it's
lost
heartbreaking.
forever.
Yeah, that's exactly why I want to help. I want to foster animals. I want to, you know what I mean? I live in a bungalow, 2-bedroom bungalow, so it's all one floor. It's very small, and I already have a dog and 3 cats. So
No,
the limit
that's
in
a lot.
yes, the limit in where I live, I think, is 4 cats and 2 dogs. So I was gonna go for it, but it's like that's money out of my own pocket. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just go, I don't know, go buy a cat just because I want to love on them. No, I would take one if it absolutely needed help. Yes, I would.
Like shelter it, or
Absolutely.
like foster it, and if you're like me, you'd fall in love with it and couldn't let it go.
Yeah,
But
I couldn't let it go. No, and I know I wouldn't. So right now I've got 3 cats and a dog, and every single one of them are rescued. Every single one of them I saved. My one cat, he's black. His name's Ash, and they were gonna kill him because nobody wanted him because he was black.
oh, I love black cats.
So do I. I think
Um,
they're amazing.
I had
And
a black cat that was huge. It looked just like a black panther with like really bright green eyes, and he was
oh,
huge,
that's what I
huge.
called mine. My little black panther. He's like
Yeah.
anorexic looking. He's so damn skinny. He's not, but
This
he does
this one
look.
this one looked like he
He's
took
so tiny.
steroids.
Yeah. My one looks like she's on steroids. She's a big fat one, and then I got, oh my god, Dilly. She's like really long with a long tail, and uh yeah, I love my
I love
cats.
my cats so, because they know when you're going through stuff. Like,
They
people
do.
think cats are narcissistic, but they're not. Like, or selfish. My cat, literally, when my dad died, my cat laid in my lap and let me literally cry until he was soaking wet. He would not move off of me. When I would lay down, he would
Yep.
just like get up on my chest. And when I was crying, like, he would let me wipe my eyes on his fur almost. And I was just crying so hard that
Aw.
he was just soaking wet. And everywhere I went to the bathroom, everywhere, that cat would follow me, sit there and watch me pee, and come back in the room with me.
Yeah, that's how my cats get too. I mean, they're amazing, but I haven't been sad or anything like that in a very long time, like years. So I don't know. I know when my one cat died, my other one that's here with me now, Claire, she wouldn't leave me alone. Not one bit. She wouldn't stay off of me either when I was pregnant. And I found out that my son had some complications. He was born a preemie.
See, they know.
Yeah, the
They
horse
have
knew.
a.
This
They
horse
know.
knew.
Yes,
This
animals
horse knew.
know.
It told me with its face. It hit me in my belly very softly, but it was like, "Go get
Yeah,
checked. Go get checked."
like a
And
nudge.
yeah, and the owner's like, "I don't know what's going on with you and that baby, but you need to go to the hospital." I'm like, "What are you
I'm
talking
telling you,
about?" She
people
was
need to
right.
watch the animals.
She
They
was
know.
right because there wasn't enough fluid around my son. He had to be. I had to be a C-section baby. He was born at 5 pounds. I almost lost him.
Oh, wow,
Yep.
man, that is so scary. I can't imagine. Like, thinking, if there's not enough fluid around the sac,
Yeah,
things
what the
could,
hell is that? So I went. I ended up going like 2 days later. I went to the hospital, and it was because I wasn't feeling a move, and I was just all of a sudden. Ever since then,
Oh, that would be
I
so
was like, okay,
scary.
something doesn't feel right. Sure enough, I had to
Thank
get him
God
taken.
you went. Like, literally, because if you hadn't gone, see,
Oh,
like, I have a friend that we were pregnant at the same time with our oldest kids, okay?
yeah,
And we were 18. Well, we got pregnant at 17 and we were 18. Okay, she was a month before me. And she was going to like the health department where we live. Like, you had to go to the health department back then if you didn't have insurance and you were young. So it was like kind of doctors who would, I mean, they weren't always the best doctors, if you know what I mean. So
yeah,
anyway, she went and she was saying, "Listen, this baby was kicking all the time. I have
yeah.
not felt this baby kick at all in 24 hours. He made her go back home, would not give her an ultrasound or anything. She called over the weekend again and was like, like I'm adamant about it. Then she ended up going to the emergency room,
Yeah.
and literally, the baby had the umbilical cord wrapped around its neck, and it passed away. And that if that doctor
Oh,
would have listened to her and given her that C-section right then when she was
yeah.
feeling the lesser of the kicks, because she was still feeling some, but they were so slowed and not like they were before. And
Yeah.
if he could, that baby could have been saved.
That pisses me off because you know what? Especially as a mother with a baby, and you fucking know, you can feel
Yeah,
it, you can
she
sense it,
knew.
you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't have left that hospital. I would have stayed right, and I wasn't going to leave. Oh, but my doctor said, yeah, your baby's under stress. 'Cause they put that like belt on me with the machine going with all almost like
yeah, the
blood.
stress
Yeah,
monitor thing you do.
yes.
Yeah,
And they said, yeah, you're getting this baby's
the
coming out.
APGAR. No, not the APGAR. It's called some. It's fetal
Yeah,
stress monitor. That's
something
what
like
it is.
yeah, that.
Yeah.
So I was in there with that on for a while, and then it was like, yep, you're going under tonight. Oh my god, I thought, did I kill him? What did I do? Is he dead? It was I just went crazy. I started crying. I was under so much stress. He's like, listen, we're gonna get this baby out. And he's like, but I need you to sign this paper just in case you don't make it. And I just told him, I was swearing. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'll sign my life away. Save him
Right.
now.
I'll
Like,
cut my own
yes,
stomach open and get him out.
that's what I said. I'm like, if you don't get him out right now, he's like, well, we gotta wait for the surgeon to come in at midnight. I said, no, I want it done now. And he's like,
Right.
I understand that. He goes, I'm trying to get someone really quickly. Well, ended up having him at 8:36 p.m. January 11th.
How many weeks were you?
I was a month and a half early.
So it's 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly with my last child. She was born at 35 weeks and 5 days,
Wow.
and my blood pressure was like through the roof, like hyperclampsia. What
Yeah.
they call it. And they had me on that medicine, that magnesium sulfate. It was
Okay.
horrible, and
Yeah.
I was so sick. Anyway, they could not get my blood pressure down, and they were so afraid I was gonna have a stroke. They were like, "Listen," they were like, "We're gonna have to induce you
Yeah.
6 weeks early," but I had already had to be induced early with some other kids. So, I mean, I wasn't scared of that.
Yeah.
But and plus it was a girl, and girls' lungs do develop a little bit faster. So
Mhm.
I felt pretty good about it, and also I have huge kids, literally. I mean, huge.
Yeah.
So I was like, I felt okay about it. But it's just when they start coming in there with like the neonatal team, and like it's so big, and they made one of my friends leave when they usually let three people in there, and it was just like so chaotic, like
Yeah.
right before she was born, because I went from 4 centimeters to dilated like in like literally 10 minutes, and I
Wow.
had no anesthesia at all, and it was natural, and my it was my husband's first child, and I mean, and this is like one of the reasons I have faith. Like people just have different walks. So things happen where it makes you have faith. So this is another thing that happened with my daughter that was a miracle. And if it hadn't been for my blood pressure going high and them having to take her and deliver her, she was born and her head came out and her cord was wrapped around her neck 3 times.
Oh my
It was
god.
called a triple lumen, and she was sunny side up. So she was literally face up,
Yeah. Wow.
and I had her on pitocin, but natural, no painkiller. And she was. It's hard for a baby to be born that way anyway, because it
Wow.
doesn't go the natural head way going down through the pelvis and all that. So it was just like so much more painful and hard, to get her to come down. I was in labor 24 hours total, but the pushing was literally two pushes. But when that midwife saw the triple lumen, which is the triple cord, she was like, "Do not push." And my daughter's face was so purple, I could see her face, but
Oh my.
she was her lips were moving, and stuff was coming out. But like they literally stuck their hand between her neck and the cord and
Wow.
clamped it off while she was still in my body. Her neck and head was out, but everything else was still inside of me. And they were like, "Just breathe. Do not push. Do not push." And they
Yeah.
cut the cord after they could clamp it off, and then they said push, and she came right out. And they laid her on me, and she was crying. She weighed 6 pounds basically, 6 weeks early. They told me like literally she would have been dead if she had have continued to grow, because they get so fat during the
Yeah.
last month. She would have gained probably 4 pounds more. So
Jeez.
she could have been 10, 11 pounds. And they said that cord would have continued to tighten and tighten and tighten around her
Yeah.
neck.
What a.
So
Wow.
that is a miracle that my blood pressure just would not come down. So they had to deliver me. I'm so thankful because my baby's here, and she did have to go to neonatal nursery for a couple of
Yep.
weeks. But you know what? It's worth it.
Well, I
Having a
just been in the
baby
hospital for the
early.
what 3.5 weeks. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they
I
kept me 2 weeks. Yeah.
yeah they wouldn't let me leave because he would not get past 5 pounds.
Yeah, they like them to get that
Yeah,
mark. And if they go in
but
vet,
he
and most
was
of the time when
5
babies
on
are
the
born, they
dot,
fall.
and then he lost weight when they were
Yeah,
born.
they always lose weight a
Yeah.
little bit.
So I had to get him back up at least 5.5 or something like that. They said it took me a long time. I stayed in there though. I stayed every night, never left. I was by his side.
They thought I was crazy because I literally camped out in one of those breastfeeding rooms that you're only supposed to take up for 30 minutes. Like, I had a TV in there. I had brought like food and like had a blow up bed in there on the floor. Like, the nurses let me just stay there.
Yeah, that's what I did. Well, I think it's expected with Canadians. You're not supposed to leave. So I stayed. So I was in there for 3.5 weeks, almost a
Yeah.
month with him. Yeah, I never left. And then my sister would come and visit me every night, and then they'd let her stay past visiting hours, and we'd order pizza, we'd talk. Yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. My,
So it
my
was
husband
like,
came every night too.
yeah,
He'd go
and
to work and
everything was
come.
free. So I didn't have to buy any
Yeah.
diapers,
You'd go
no
and get
milk,
those
nothing. It was all
sandwiches,
free.
everything. And they
Yeah.
had me in there like a milk machine because I was producing so much milk and I
So
could
was
donate.
I. Oh my god. So was I. Every time he cried, it just leaked like crazy. I'm like, what is
Yeah,
happening to me?
I know.
Oh, it was
And
insane.
you're so emotional too. And then when your
Yes.
baby's in the NICU, it's like you're having all these emotions of just giving birth. And on top of that,
Yeah,
dealing with your baby in the NICU. It is the worst thing ever.
it is because I wanted him right by me, but I couldn't have him the first night. I was so doped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a good thing right after all that.
Oh
That's good.
yeah. I was so screwed up.
And
It
he
was
don't remember. He don't remember.
no, no, no. I do remember
Okay.
smelling McDonald's though when I was pissed because I didn't eat for like a day, and
Oh,
they
dang.
wouldn't let me eat the next day. And so my son's father decided he was going to sit there and eat McDonald's in the room right beside me,
Oh no. Uh-uh.
and I was all messed up. I don't know what color was what was this, what was that, but I could smell it and I knew it. So the next day I'm like, so how was your burger last night, asshole? He's like, how'd you even know? I said, I can fucking smell it. I know McDonald's when I smell it. I'm like, I was so hungry. I
Oh
was dreaming
God.
about burgers. Oh yeah.
Whenever two of my kids were born, I was at a different hospital. They gave us the next night. Now, not the night that you give a birth, but the next night they gave you a steak dinner for two.
Oh wow.
I know, isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is
It's
cool.
part of the nursery stuff, I guess. And they had like labor and birthing rooms, and where you stay in the same room where you give birth in, and they were huge.
Yeah, I had my own room. Yeah, I had my
Yeah.
own room, and I was right with all the nurses and everything else. The counter was like right across from my room, so they were
Oh,
always there.
you got all the good like coming and going. It's like if you were in pain and you pushed your button or whatever, they could come
Yeah.
fast to you.
No, yeah, they did. And then there was, of course, the kitchen I had access to, which was great. They
Oh
told me,
yes.
yeah,
I remember going down there and getting juice like all the time, just juice after juice. And then they had these sandwiches like
yeah,
put in there with all these little cookies
yeah,
and stuff in there. Man, I was like, heck yeah, this is like a dream.
yeah,
Just to come down here and eat anytime I want to. Like,
yeah. It was always toast for me. It was like toast, toast this, toast, toast, because they had the bread and they had everything there. Yeah. Then someone
and
brought bagels, so I ate most of them with the
that
cream
is
cheese.
that
Yeah.
is funny.
Then I started
That's
drinking
crazy that both
the
of us had that
Ensures
experience. Why'd you have to drink Ensure?
because I like the taste, and I just said,
Oh,
drink.
I thought they were making you drink it. I was like, oh my
No,
God,
I
what's
started
wrong?
drinking them, and they're like, actually, you should because they tell you after a pregnancy or after C-section that you have to fart and you have to burp. You got to get this
Yes,
gas
you gotta
out,
get
and
that
I
gas
didn't.
out. It hurt so bad.
Oh my god! And I'm like, listen, I'm starving. I need something to eat. So they would only give me broth. So I told my kid's father, I'm like, you're gonna have to go in there and get me a fucking Ensure. I am starving.
Yeah,
Get me a
so you need
chocolate and
your
a
mom.
vanilla.
You
I
either
need
need your
something.
mom or your husband to be up there to advocate for you,
Oh,
like I
I
was
was
for
like,
my daughter.
please. Yeah, because I was so hungry. I was like, so I
I
just
was
kept
kind of
drinking
like,
them and drinking them and drinking them. Yeah, and
have you
then
ever seen that?
after like, the what?
Have you ever seen movie with Shirley MacLaine when her daughter was dying of breast cancer? Terms of Endearment. And she was like, "I need my daughter's medicine," and she was like freaking out. Like,
Yeah,
I know some of the older people might have seen it, but like that's literally how I am with my kids in the hospital.
yeah,
They're like this wackadoodle mother. Like they literally put my daughter in labor the day they did because I bitched so much. And I
Yeah.
was like, I'm telling you right now, my best friend's husband's an attorney, and if something happens to my grandbaby, I am gonna take your license and you will wipe your ass with it.
Yeah, I would have done the same. Oh,
So
yeah.
they did.
Good. Good, good, good.
Let's see. Somebody said that oh, they had a C-section also because their son's cord was wrapped around his neck.
Yeah,
So she
Benita's
had a combination.
yeah, wrapped around his neck. She had an ER C-section, but he turned and I was able to deliver. I didn't have pain meds because they said
Oh,
before his heart rate. Oh shit! They rushed
well,
him to
that's
the nursery, and he was born 2.5 weeks early. He was my first baby after miscarriage was my first. I'm so sorry. I had
rainbow baby.
I had 2 of them, and they're sucks. They look at
I,
teeth.
I had a tubal
Those are painful, eh?
pregnancy. Yeah, and I was like almost 4 months, and they didn't know it was in my tube. Well, close to 4. I was like 3 months of it, and it like was in there all that time, and we're so excited, and then like I started feeling weak, queasy, and my husband was at work, so I called my
Yeah.
daughter because she was down the road, and our youth minister picked her up and dropped her off at my house with her kids because we were pregnant at the same time with her, my last and her first. And my husband was like father of the bride too.
Yeah.
And he was running around like Steve Martin with the it was so cold in there because we were so hot, and we were both in the same house. He was having to run out at 12 at night for ice cream runs. She was only 16, but she's my baby, and that was my grandbaby. So what are you gonna do? But ended up like when she was 3 months pregnant, I found out I was pregnant, and she was like so bummed out because she was like, "Man, this really crushes my plans that my mom was gonna babysit constantly."
That's funny.
It is
Crushing my plans.
But I still watched them for her a lot and
Yeah.
let her get a lot of sleep during the day when I was up, and then she had to be with him at night. So it worked out pretty
I can't
good.
wait for that. My son's only 11, so it'll be quite a few.
Yeah,
weeks.
it'll be a while, hopefully.
But I mean, I can't wait to be a grandmother. That'll be the best thing. I mean,
I was 34 when I became a grandma. That was like because I was 17 when I got pregnant with her, and he was 16.
I was 27 when I had mine. It was a big surprise.
Great surprise!
It was a big surprise and a great surprise. Yeah, I was actually very, very happy. Yeah, I always wanted to be a mom.
Oh, that's all I ever really, really wanted to be myself.
That's why I want a whole bunch of kids, but I don't think it's fair to the children to not have a father around either. So you can't just go out and get knocked up. I mean, that's not very.
Well, I don't know. I knew this one lady. And my her kids like they call me mom and stuff, and like she was an attorney, very educated woman. And she was from Chicago, but they moved down south, where we lived. And literally, she had 6 kids by 6 different men.
Oh my, yeah. See, I wouldn't be that.
She was only married to one of them with 2, with 2 parents, but with the same dad. They said, but they weren't even the same dad. She was married, but
yeah, I don't.
They literally all had different fathers.
Yeah, that's not good at all. That's like I would never do that. No, I seen your video today, Deb. The creepy music was awesome. I liked it. Good job. Did you say? Wait, it didn't suck.
What?
Deb, she did a video today, and I had Katie Joy's face in it, and it was all this scary Halloween music. It was
God!
It was good.
If I want to scare my husband, then I'll play that tonight. He can't stand. I've gotten him to where he's constantly cussing that TV out. He's like, "What in the F is she talking about?" And he goes, "I can't stand to watch that jaw. I swear." I mean, like,
I can't stand to watch that jaw.
He goes, "She's always jamming that jaw crooked."
I know. It's crazy.
Oh my God, he is so funny because he never says stuff like that. He's like real quiet kind of guy, but like,
if she's, messing him up, then that's what I mean. It's bad. Oh, so yeah, I was gonna do it tonight. The video, but 7M lawsuit. It's good. You guys are gonna like it. She's fucked. I mean,
yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, she's screwed. She messed with the wrong people. You should see all their claims, and oh wow. Plus, she didn't hand in the Discovery or anything on time, and is trying to blame them for that when it says, in fact, in the records here, she's the one that messed that up. But yeah, she's going down.
Oh, I can't wait to see this because
I
look,
think
I
that she's going to
knew
lose her channel because she's dangerous, and they've proved that. Yeah.
Look, I said when she kept going after the Duggars like that. Now I'm not talking about Josh. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the girls who are actual victims of Josh.
Like the video I did yesterday. She's sitting there talking about how the women are working. Shouldn't you be, I don't know, enlightened about that? Shouldn't you be happy for them considering
Exactly.
like that these men are controlling and won't let their women work? There's 2 women now that I know of in the Duggar family that are working. Are you
And
like
Jana moved out.
Yeah,
by
it's
herself.
like
She's not married. And the thing is, and I even put on the show. I got pissed off the other day so bad that I ended up texting on her Instagram, and I took a screenshot of it and I posted it on my thing because she literally took a post that I actually read because I look at Jessica's stuff sometimes, and it was nothing but like her husband is a pastor now, so she's a pastor's wife, so they probably do teach a marriage or couples class because that is a common thing in church, okay, and evangelical churches or whatever. So that and so she was basically on there giving just godly marital advice according to the Bible. Now, not saying that everybody has to go by this, but I mean, if you call yourself that faith, then you're so they appreciate the knowledge or whatever, know. And they're very young and have a very good marriage. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, girl, you need to be sitting like watching these videos, taking lessons, not cutting her down. And she was like literally saying the things that she was shortcoming on her own self with. And she was talking about how great Ben was, and the thing is, like, and then Katie Joy puts on there, Jessica Duggar talks about divorce and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the hell? And she literally was saying there how she was like, I don't like bullying and I don't like hypocrites and all this stuff. So I was like, oh no, I can't believe this
one. I like punch the screen and be like, oh, okay, that's it. This phone's going, this computer's going, this because you just because it's like unbelievable, and she gets away with it.
That is my both sides of her mouth.
Oh, yeah, just like Teresa's saying, she's still in denial about Jana moving out because Down the Rabbit Hole said it first. And it's true. And KJ still
can't deal with it. She can't deal with it. It's frying her brain. Oh my gosh. Jim Bob lost his. I mean, like, Jim Bob don't give a crap when his kids get. I mean, he cares.
But you know what I'm saying? Fun of these women for wearing pants while working on a home.
I mean, that is so ridiculous. Wow. And who cares that people wear jeans or not? Literally. Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's ridiculous.
Okay, you talk about Jess wearing jeans and she gets mad at us for talking about her wearing Depends and scratching her crotch. Exactly. I mean, at least Jess is not up there digging in her crotch all during her video and stuff like that. I mean, she keeps herself clean, and I'm just like, she's always got her little kids around. Always.
Yeah. And she did not know that you can get a UTI from sex. She's like, it's the wrong hole. Like, wow. I knew that.
You have to go right past that hole. I don't know what y'all are doing. Like, but I'm just saying, like, if you took basic anatomy,
middle school, you're told from even a doctor or a nurse, always pee after and go for a pee after you're done doing the do.
Oh, like, yeah, because it'll go up in there and it will cause an infection, a UTI. And it burns like hell.
No, she's definitely not qualified. The Duggars wear pants to make KG squeal. I mean, that's her news lately. Oh my God.
She has no content.
And then the other one she did, the one that she did yesterday, it was about how, oh my God, what's his face? Ben passed the bar. She said he didn't pass the bar. Then she's like, he passed the bar. And I'm like,
oh my God.
You're an idiot. He did pass the bar, not the first try, but he did pass the bar. Like, what are you trying to get at here? What is the point of this video? And I had it with her yesterday. Everything was an F word for me. And I was just like, yeah, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm going to break something.
Oh, I think, you know what? I think we actually watched that for a minute. We got it late.
Yeah.
We watched it because me and my husband were sitting here and he was laughing so hard. And he was like, she reminds me of Beth Dutton. Like, I don't know if you watched that. No. It's called, what's that show called? That girl, Beth Dutton, she says, fuck all the time, like every other word.
Yeah.
And he loves that show. It's like one of his favorite shows. And that woman just tells everybody like it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's so funny. But
Yeah.
my husband loves to watch. I've got him hooked now to watching this channel, and he literally like he despises KJ. He's like next time you make a video, you need to tell that bitch off. He was
Don't
like,
well, because you want to, right? Oh,
and I mean, I've only made one literally, and it was so long ago, and it was about whenever she was trying to say that Jim Bob was paying for Jessa and Ben to still live in that house, and how it was so dangerous
oh,
by the freeway and all that stuff. And Jessa, the whole time, I loved it because she kept that a surprise when they
yep.
had already bought that house and they had been
And
working on it
yes,
already. And
yep,
oh my God, that was like sweet, savory
yeah, because
dessert
she was
watching
pissed.
that. Oh my God, that she did not have the scoop on that. Because let me tell you something, if she really did have what
A
you call
source.
it, the sources, she said she would have known that by 9 months later.
Well,
Like, you know what
exactly.
I'm
And same
saying?
with the newest Duggar that's pregnant. She doesn't even know if they've had the baby or not yet because she has no source. And she's
Right.
acting like, well, obviously they didn't because I don't know about it. I'm just like, oh my God, you're so full of shit. Just like what Jana didn't move out, or was it Jessa?
It was
There's someone
Jana. It was the
Jana
one that
moved
didn't
out.
get married. You know,
Yeah,
it
she's the
was
one
the
that moved
older one.
out.
She's the twin to John David.
Yeah, that's it. And she, yeah, just like what she did to John David. So everybody's reporting that video because she's claiming that they're not allowed to help anybody in Florida. They're not licensed. They're not this. They're not an actual
That's
company.
a lie.
What a fucking bitch. That, oh, I did a video on
And
that.
who goes after people trying to help other people anyway? Like,
She
that is
does.
sick.
She does because she thinks she's above. She thinks she's above the law. She knows that people listen to her stupidity. Absolutely. Like I'm
Yeah.
telling you, with what
I
came
was
out,
reading some of those comments and I
yeah,
was like, y'all are really stupid. I mean, I
they
hate to say
are.
this, but like, what?
Yeah,
Y'all follow after this woman blindly. And she
yeah,
talks about cults. That is a friggin' cult. When you
exactly.
follow people blindly and don't even question anything.
You can't say anything about her in the chat. Like she actually tells you that you have to stay on topic. It's just that is a call. I'm sorry. This
And
is not a
yeah,
classroom.
she's so controlling. She's like
Yeah,
David Koresh or something.
exactly. Like it's not a classroom. You guys can talk about it. Wow, I'll never
Like
get over it.
why can't your people that are your subs, which are how you know have made money to
Yeah,
support your family, and you're gonna just talk crap to your subs, and if they say one thing out of line that you don't agree with, how about being an adult and say, okay, well, we can agree to disagree.
exactly.
Like
And so
that I was trying to tell
blocking
the
them.
lady earlier. I was like, now this is what my belief is. Now
Yeah,
you've had a different experience, but I respect the fact
yeah.
that your experience is different. You know, we're
You did
grown people.
nothing wrong. Not one thing wrong.
We can
Neither of you.
agree to disagree.
Yep, you both had different experiences. You both did nothing wrong.
Right.
And see, I like that because, you know, you were both adults about it and it wasn't a Katie Joy stream. It wasn't because I would never allow that. Oh, God, no. But it was just like, and you both aren't mad at each other. You both said what you had to say.
No.
And it was a normal
Right.
conversation.
No, I was just
Yeah,
wanting to let her
God
know that, like,
forbid
maybe she don't
you.
know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But, you know, because I know a lot of people that, like, they've grown up and their fathers were Masons and nothing like that happened to
yep.
them. You
I've
know,
heard
but
that
it
as
just
well.
depends on, you know, like what they were into and how
Yep.
high up some of them got. And like I said, my daddy only was the third degree. He only got to that point and he stopped. But now my grandfather, like I said, that was different. And his brother, you know, and the people above him. So, like, it's just a different experience and it doesn't make either one of us wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just different.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
like
True.
Katie
That's
Joy,
God
like I'm not
forbid.
even mad at her. Like, okay, like you, the fact that you don't believe in God, it's like, I mean, I
It's a
love
difference
you.
of opinion.
Right. It's
Right.
right. And I'm like, but I like it doesn't affect me one way or the other than the fact that I love you and I want you, you know, to be able to
Yeah.
feel that love and that faith, but not because I want you to be a convert of anything. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
No,
I
I wish
love
I
you
did
and
believe.
respect you for whatever it is you believe.
And same with you.
Like,
Like I don't sit there and, you know, get mad and upset that people are believers or any of their faith or anything like that.
right.
No, not at
People
all. I
walk
would
different
never.
roads,
Teresa and I
you know?
talk all the time, and she believes in God. Her son doesn't even believe in God. Me and her son don't, and she
And
does.
my grandson doesn't.
Yeah,
And my son-in-law, listen, I mean, I've had plenty of people in my life. And my own son has gone, my middle one has gone through, you know, periods of going back and forth and doubting, like finding himself. You know,
yeah.
when he was in his 20s, like that's what kids do. You want them to do that because I don't want my kids to be brainwashed for anything.
Me neither.
Like
Yeah.
I want them to make their own decisions about everything. Like when they're
Same.
grown, I don't want to push anything on them. If they want to be a doctor, good. If they want to be a trash collector, good. Be the
Yeah,
best damn trash collector there is. You know.
exactly.
And I love you. I'm just
Yeah, me
saying. And it's like, you just have to learn that, look, not everybody's alike. You know what I'm saying? We
yeah,
all have a different path of
yeah, I
where
agree.
we got to where we are. And just things that have happened in my life. I wasn't raised in a religious home or environment, and maybe that's how, I was easier to maybe be more open to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me too.
Because I was looking for something that I never had. Do you see what I'm saying? But I found it.
Yeah,
And but if you're born into a household that acts or says they're this way and acts a different way, and the kids grow up and see hypocrisy because they
yeah,
don't live what they say they live like, then they grow up and they hate religion and hate,
exactly.
and I hate religion actually. Now I will
I'm a
tell you, I
perfect
don't like
example.
religion, but my relationship with my Savior is a different thing. But I don't call myself religious.
No, I don't either. I don't. That's what scares me.
The religion is where it gets into cultish
It
stuff.
scares the hell out of
Yeah,
me. It really does.
and I understand that. Like I totally get that,
Yeah,
and I think that's healthy for people to appreciate and love each other for their differences and stuff.
yeah.
And
Like I'm not really like I don't believe in anything. My son does. He goes to a Catholic school, and
right,
it's the opposite of Teresa. Like she believes and her son doesn't. I don't believe and my son does.
right,
It's you can coexist with each other, and
exactly.
it's not like a thing at all.
And the thing is, the person that really loves you, if they really love you, they won't push religion in your face
No,
or even push the gospel because the thing is, people have free will and they're
yeah,
allowed to accept it or not. But that doesn't mean, you know what? That doesn't mean that I don't pray for you, that I don't pray for you to find like happiness and joy.
hmm,
And if that is fate, that I ask the Lord to show you the truth, even if it's not my truth. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But yours, so that you have true peace, happiness, harmony, all these things in your life, nothing but good things, in other
yeah,
words. Like, and I'm like, I'm thankful for anybody that wants to pray for me to do better or, like have
yeah.
a
Same
better
here.
life. And for if there is a God to show me, show me that he loves me, you
Yep.
know, like there's nothing wrong with that. And the thing is, if you love somebody, you don't force things down their throat. You just
Yeah.
show them love. That's it.
Yeah. I had that happen to me years and years ago where I was getting, um, I they would discuss religion stuff like that, and then I get it kind of shoved down my throat, and it was just like, please don't. And I made it a point, like I'm not going to talk about this with you because I'm going to get upset with you because you're making
Right.
me upset, you're making me mad. I don't want to talk about this. This
Right.
was oh shit, this was like 8 years ago, something like that. But ever since, like, I pretty much tell people right away that I'm not religious or anything, and I guess I'm an atheist. I don't know what I am. I don't know. I'm
Is
still
it
looking.
is it agnostic? Like you believe
Yeah, because I'm still looking.
there's a it's like you not it's not that you don't believe in nothing. Because
Yeah,
listen, if you believe that there are spirits and there are
I do.
spiritual beings, you do believe in something. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Because if there is a spirit after we die and we don't just go to the ground and there's nothing,
But
that,
there's got to be.
there's something out
Yeah.
there. Now I may not know what it is yet,
Yeah.
and because listen, like I said, I was 27 before I ever went to church or anything or ever even picked up a Bible to ever read it. I didn't even
Yeah.
own one. You know what I'm saying? And like, and so I understand that. Like, so I totally understand where you are. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I have been there.
Yeah.
I
I've had
mean,
reasons for the
I've
way I
gone down to
really
look.
do.
I've looked into paganism. I used to actually. I ran across a real vampire and sat down and actually interviewed him. Like through my job, I got to
Yeah.
meet him, and I sat down because I was so curious. I was like, "Dang, that's." I saw the
Yeah. Me
coffin
too.
in one of the bedrooms, and I was like, "Dang, that's interesting." I was like, "Do you mind talking to me for a while?" Like,
Yeah. Because
and
I
like
would
I
too.
sat there and like I asked him like questions over for an hour,
Yeah.
and like that girl that was raised in the satanic cult, like, well,
Yeah.
I met two of them, but like, I mean, I sat and talked to her for like a long time because I was just like fascinated. Like,
Yeah.
in other words, like to me, it's just hard to believe that people live lifestyles that are that different. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
So I
And
was
they.
just interested, and I used to kind of search around a little bit through different avenues of paganism, and like
Yep.
that's why I won't mess with Ouija boards and stuff like that
No, me
anymore.
neither. No, I
No
won't do that.
way.
I know enough to know that there is such things as poltergeists and spirits and ghosts and whatnot. I know enough that there is, and I know that there's good, and I know that it's evil. And with that knowledge alone, no, no, I won't.
Exactly.
Twist,
You
I
don't
won't
want
twist
to open
something.
that door.
No,
I mean,
I
look,
don't
because
want to.
here's the thing: you're already empathic. I can tell like you're an empath. It seems
Yeah,
by the way your spirit is, and you're like so. Okay, if you've got gifts like that, you're gonna
I
naturally
feel too
like.
much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
I
okay,
don't
like when
like
you
it.
go to a real crowded place, do you get
I
overwhelmed
can't
very
deal.
easy and have to leave?
Yep, I
Yeah.
can't deal.
See, and you can
Yeah.
feel the emotion whether the crowd is in a very peaceful mood or if it's very chaotic and like
Yeah,
the
like if
fair
someone's
or
in a bad
something.
mood, I can't be
Yeah.
around. I have to go. I just like,
I have to
oh,
go.
okay.
I'll feel it. Like I take their
Yeah,
attitude on, or they're like if they're
same.
if it's good or bad, either one.
Yeah, I can't do that. Like, um, yeah, I'm not an empath. What am I then?
I think you are. Who said you're not?
Deb did.
How do you? I mean, I think she is, and I see that light, and I personally think that you are because
I
I
just care
know
too much. I care about too much, too many people, too many this, too many that. And then I take on those feelings and I'm always, I don't know.
because empathy means to be able to put your yourself in the place of somebody else, just regular people. I'm not empathic. I'm saying even regular people. If they have empathy, that means they are capable of some point, like putting themselves and thinking, "Oh my gosh, if this were me." But an empath actually feels those feelings as if they're their own. Like if you're with
Yeah.
somebody and they found out their kid had just passed away or something, then you're gonna cry with them like as if your own kid died and weep with them because you feel that.
Yeah,
Like
I
um,
do. If someone, especially if someone's in the bad mood, I'm the first one there, or they're upset, I'm the first one there to comfort them. I've always been like that. Like if I'm at a party, I'll be with, if there's kids or if there's animals or both, I'll be with them instead of everybody else. I don't know.
mhm.
It's weird. I'll go hang out with the pets. And then
Well,
if there's
pets are
children or
they're
something,
pure. Like I mean, like in their the thing with pet, it's almost like empathic people. Also, I do believe communicate differently with animals or
yeah,
nature.
I'm a
Period.
reader. What's a reader?
Now, I mean, I'm a seer and I have visions and dreams and stuff.
Yeah, I
But
do
you
in my
said, don't you
dreams.
have dreams? So
Oh,
that like that's
yeah,
considered like a seer.
yeah,
Um, like I don't call myself psychic because I just don't like that title necessarily, and it doesn't mean that it's any different. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Than what I believe maybe my giftings are, but I just don't go by titles. I guess you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
Now
I
I do
mean,
believe I'm an empath or empathic, but like you know what I'm saying. I just like I'll call myself an empath, I guess, but like a you know, some people call themselves a prophet because you know the Lord gives them things to say, and I do put warnings out on my channel and they have come true, and I mean they're on there, and in fact I said something big is coming, and I just found out last night. I put it together because I first like just I hadn't gone back and looked at it, and it was 1 month before Roe versus Wade was overturned,
oh
and it
yeah,
was like something huge is coming or something big is coming, but I was talking about just it's going to be like but pray. And that's
yeah,
weird because I would be so excited about Roe versus Wade being overturned with what happened in my life when I was forced to have an abortion by my parents, you know. So like I've waited for that my whole life, and honestly, I really, even though I hoped it would, I didn't think I would ever see it, honestly. But
yeah.
it was like one day, it was 1 month and a couple days, literally before Roe versus Wade was overturned, and that was the whole thing I was talking about, and I didn't know that was the big thing that was coming. And I think the reason I was even talking about, but do not be worried or don't be in fear, but pray instead, is because the crap hit the fan after that.
Yep.
And so
Yeah.
I go back and look at that and I'm like, gosh, that's crazy. That even amazes me, even though I was the one that put the video out. You know what I'm saying? Like a
Yeah.
lot of times I don't even realize like the things that I'm saying sometimes, you know what I'm saying, are going to
Yep.
just happen.
Yeah, I
Like,
get that.
but when it does, it's like, holy moly, there is really something bigger out there than
There,
myself.
yeah, that I do get. Yeah. I'll be right back. I have got to go to the phone booth really bad. So if you ladies don't mind
Oh,
chatting
yeah.
for seconds, okay, I'll be right back.
Doo.
Am I echoing?
No,
Okay.
no,
Just wanted
uh,
to make sure.
no. I can hear you good. Can y'all hear her good? If I can, they probably can. Does it say which one are you? It's hard to say because it don't say your name up there.
I'm Deb.
Oh, Deb. Okay. Hey.
Okay, why am I getting an echo back on me?
Oh, you're hearing it on your side? I'm not hearing an echo. Are y'all?
Okay, now I'm not.
Okay.
No, I was getting it from both StreamYard and from YouTube, and
Oh, you have to mute one.
I had to mute YouTube.
Yeah,
So,
I did that. No, I think the last time I was here.
okay, so here is the thing. Nikki,
She's in the
I'm an
phone booth.
empath. Oh, she's in the phone booth. Oh, okay, I'll
Yeah.
wait for her then.
Yeah, I was letting you know so you didn't have to go over it again.
I didn't hear her say that. I'm sorry. I was
Yeah.
trying to, like I say, I was having problems with my sound. So,
Uh-oh. Is it better? Is it fixed?
yeah, I got it. I just had to mute YouTube because I
Oh,
was getting
the reverb.
my my voice back through YouTube, and it's always so confusing.
I'm back.
She's back.
So,
I heard her when she came in.
you're back. Can I be front? If you're gonna be back, can I be front?
Oh my god.
Top, bottom. No.
Oh my god.
Hold,
Look at the face
hold
on
your
that.
face.
Look
Yes,
at Nancy
I'm
Chewbacca.
back.
She's new here, and look at her face. That's so cool.
I can't see it. I need my glasses. Hold on.
She's
I'm
got a
getting
knife up
old.
to her mouth.
Hello,
Okay.
Nancy Chewbacca. Welcome.
Oh, she's got like painted up above her eyebrows,
Wait a minute. Is that
like kind of like a clown.
Trey
Like
McCrae?
it looks like her.
It
What's
does
that?
with makeup on. Is that Dre McCrae with makeup on? It looks just like Dre, kind of.
It
I don't know.
does.
Apologize
Huh.
if it's not like a.
If it's not, we're sorry.
I don't think it's her. I'm just mean like the
Yeah.
face. It looks like her. Well, welcome, Miss Chewbacca. That's cute. Well,
So-
hello. Why, yes, it is. Is it really? I thought so. The reason why I thought that too is because the knife.
I think I remember seeing that. And that's what I was
Yeah.
looking at. I was like, well, that's makeup and that knife. But
Nancy Chewbacca is Dre McCrae?
No, it's not.
maybe just her picture.
Just her picture, yeah, not her.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a second. When did we get famous?
Yeah, what's she
Wow.
doing? Like Nikki's traveling far and wide.
Maybe yeah, if it was, I'd be assuming that she heard about the my KJ videos and probably came to laugh. I don't know.
Oh yeah. That's how we all found you in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Nikki.
Yeah.
So I'm going to explain this to you.
Yes.
So an empath is someone who not only feels but adopts the emotions of the people around them. You not only sense how people feel, you not only understand how they're feeling, you literally feel what they feel.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
You're basically empty of anything on your own when you are around anyone else, because you're just literally adopt what they have. Whatever emotions, whatever illness, whatever there is that they have, that's who you are in that moment.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense.
I think that's what I said. And
that's what I am.
It's like if somebody has a horrible stomach ache. See, my best friend has a horrible stomach ache, and I go over there, but I don't know about it. When I'm there, my stomach literally starts hurting. Or if she's got diarrhea, and I go over there, like I'll start crapping. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that deep.
Okay, no. So being an empath, you don't have the same symptoms that they have. You
Well, I do. I
adopt
think
their
everybody's different.
no, as
Yeah.
an empath does not have physical symptoms that they have. You know
I
what
do.
everything is though. You
Yeah.
your spirit adopts their spirit at the moment. That is an empath.
That makes
Okay?
sense.
Your soul is not your own. It belongs to everyone else. You sense everything
Mm.
within everyone else and it becomes you.
I wish I could give it back because I'm so sick
You're
and tired.
not an empath. You're not an
Well,
empath.
you don't think
I
so?
think I do. I
You
do believe you
you
are,
are what
Nikki. I do.
uh, no, you're not an empath. You are a
I believe
reader.
she is.
What's
She
a
is
reader?
not. Listen to me, please,
Listen
okay?
to
This is
me. I'm
something I
telling
have
you,
spent
we can
years
agree.
doing.
I have too. About
No,
25. Yes.
okay, Nikki,
Yes.
Nikki, you are not an empath. You are a reader. A reader is an empath who travels through people. You are not simply able to adopt their emotions and adapt to what they feel and understand all of it and feel all of it. You, as a reader, are so much more powerful than that. You can actually, it's basically a spiritual healer is
Whoa.
basically what it is. You can not only adopt their feelings and their spirit and what they are doing and how they are feeling. You if you can learn to control it
Hmm.
and if you can learn to put it into the proper practice, you can heal people's spirits.
Well, that's what I meant.
You
You said she was an empath, but a deeper level, and that's what I was trying to say. That she is even deeper than just a practical or regular empath that does take on the emotions of other people. But again, with me, the way I'm talking about, like I can feel symptoms on people, or when
Yeah,
people
I
come up to
can't.
me, like I can, like when I lay hands on people, like I can literally like get words of knowledge that I tell them, and it's always right. Like I mean, it's never wrong because it's like not even coming from me really, if you know what I'm saying. But it is a healing thing, because whenever this situation type thing happens, and it's happened since I was a little girl, even. But I mean, I have laid my hands on people and prayed for them. They were dying, literally. My dad was one of them, and literally the next day they got him out of intensive care and put him in a regular room. And I'm not taking credit for that. I'm saying that the Holy Spirit works through me in my faith, and
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that your faith is wrong, Deb. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying in my life, this is how it's always worked for me. And because this was so weird for me as a kid, because I didn't understand it then, and it was scary before I did understand how to use it, you know what I'm saying, for the good in the right way. And I think that's why I searched for so long. Like I felt like I didn't really fit in anywhere, and I kind of always just beat dance by the beat of my own drum. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I
Yeah.
kind of didn't care how other people really felt about me. Quite honestly, I didn't. And I think that is a special kind of person, really. And I do believe like we all have different paths. You know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah.
I'm not discounting what you're saying at all. I'm just saying that in what I have experienced in my life, or my walk of life, like I said to that other lady, that just because I've experienced one thing doesn't mean you're wrong. You know, like two things can be right at the same time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That
And
makes sense.
so, yeah, and I'm just like saying that I see like deep. I'm a seer. You know what I'm saying? And I see things sometimes inside people. That it's either bad, like I can feel it, like like a dog gets around a person and the hair on his back stands up like a,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, right on his spine if somebody really evil is
Yeah. Same
around,
with
like real.
cats.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how I am. Like when I'm around somebody evil, I can feel it, and I will literally throw up if I don't get out of there. Like
Oh
if it's
wow.
bad, if it's a bad place, like a physical building or a person, like that's alive even. Like it
Yeah.
can be either way. But I'm just saying that like I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong or what you're saying that you've studied is not, you know what I'm saying, what your belief is and what you've been through because that's your life and your experience. You've walked that. But I'm just saying that I do see that light in Nikki, and the problem with that is sometimes because she really maybe not doesn't know how to understand how to use it yet, and so
Definitely.
these other things can bother her. You know what I'm saying, and get to her more than like say somebody who doesn't have those gifts. Do you know what I'm saying?
And that's
Like,
the
and it
part.
doesn't really matter what you call it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to argue with you what to call it or anything like that because I think it is what it is. It's just a gift. God, I believe whoever you want to say, the universe, God, whatever, that we all are born with different gifts. You know what I'm saying? And
That makes sense.
it should work together. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like our body, we've got fingers, we've got hands, we've got toes, but if every part of our body was the same, it could not function.
Yeah.
But because
Yeah.
everybody has a different part to play in this thing called life, and if we would work in harmony together, it would be so much easier for everybody.
Yeah, that'll never happen, but it would be, wouldn't it?
It would be great. And
Hmm.
like, I don't think you have to say somebody else is like wrong about what they believe just to think, for just for you to say that, well, I believe my path is this. You know what
I
I'm
don't know what
saying?
my path is. I just know that I do get overwhelmed very easy. I get sad very easy. I'm very emotional, and I'm like a caretaker or something.
You
I always
are.
want
It's
to
like a
help.
mother soul.
I always
It
have to help. Like it doesn't. I don't know what it is, but if someone's in a bad mood, I can feel it. So I go over to them and I
yeah.
always make them in a better mood because I'll always make them laugh or I'll bring a new subject up and automatically I get them laughing. I don't know. I just sense it. I can feel it. And it's
Hmm.
like, okay, I can't handle you right now because you're pissed off. So either I gotta walk
Right.
away or I gotta fix it because I can't do it. Same with someone's sad, bullies
And
especially. Oh my
it
god,
seems so
I'll
hard,
fight
but
them.
when you learn, like Deb was talking about, when you learn, like actually how to take those things and understand it and use it in the right way, though, like
Hmm.
you will be like going, wow, this is so cool. You know what I'm saying? But like when you really don't understand that, because I mean, I did go through that for a little while, and that's why I've searched so long,
Yeah,
and studied all this so long and studied it deep into some other things I shouldn't have studied into, probably. But I'm the kind of person I've got to know every single thing. I've got to know every religion. I've got to know every detail.
oh wow,
And I'm a researcher and a studier, and like I'm not gonna just believe something hook, line, and sinker. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? If somebody tells me something, I'll go look it up and take it under advisement because nobody's right all the time. Nobody, me especially. So I'll listen to what people say and I'll go, hey, I'm gonna go look that up, and look
yeah.
into it. And
That's what scared me the other night. Like Patricia's saying, my only concern is the way it can drain you. You have to fill up as well, emotionally speaking.
you do,
That freaked me out. Like
yeah.
it,
And I mean,
I don't know what.
I could see it all over your face. I mean, like it just like was something that came over you that just changed.
Yeah,
Like and like, but I could tell also when Deb got up there
yeah,
and was talking to you, and you got your mind off of that and
yeah,
wasn't giving that your energy anymore, then you started feeling better. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
And we were all, whatever our beliefs are, we were all either giving good vibes, praying, whatever,
Yeah, I did get better.
yeah, wishing you well and to get better. I was praying for you to get better. Other people were praying for you to get better. And then Deb was up there talking to you and like calmed you down. And like, that's what I love about your channel. Like, I think it's good and healthy to have these conversations and
Me
say, you
too.
know what? It's okay that you believe that. And it's okay that I believe this. Like,
I agree.
it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna jump down. I'll talk to you about it another time, Nikki.
Okay. Well, no, you can still talk. If you weren't
Yeah.
finished.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
it's
sorry.
just no, that's okay. I'm not trying to argue. I'm trying to explain something from a completely different perspective than anybody's
Yeah.
coming at it. So,
Well, it's okay. Go ahead. I mean, I think everybody should be able to give their opinions. I was just saying, like, well, don't like say that I'm wrong or not right because I'm not going to say that about you. Really, I was just saying that an empath, or I didn't mean to if it came across that way. I apologize. Let's put it that way. Because I mean, I know what it means to be like fired up about what you believe. You know what I'm saying? So I get that passionate. That's what it is. So like I'm like cool with whatever you say. I'm not gonna like. I just wanted you to know that like I also have studied the things and like I'm just saying I respect you and you just respect me the same. You know what I'm saying?
I do
And I'm
respect you.
sorry. And I
I was
really am
simply
sorry.
I was trying to explain something, but I was not being allowed to explain what
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to explain.
I'm
So
sorry.
I just figured I'd sit here and listen to you guys.
Well, you go ahead. I'm sorry. I will definitely be quiet and listen because I do want to hear. I do want to hear your side. I do.
You please tell me.
Okay. So
Thank you.
I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not. I don't argue. So I'm, you know, that's my whole thing is I don't argue. So I don't want to and I don't want to step on anybody else's toes.
No one's toes are getting stepped on.
No,
I
no,
think you
no.
both are
I'm
very,
sorry.
very passionate women, and you both
Right.
have your own beliefs, and you both will believe things to research or hear them, or you both have amazing opinions, and you both are a lot alike. So I wouldn't
Thank
take any
you.
offense if I were any of you guys. No.
No, I don't take offense, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Deb. I really am. I really didn't mean
It's
to be like
okay.
that. I'm just
It's
passionate, like you said, and I know you are too. So I'm sorry, and I do want to hear you.
it's okay. I'm just letting you know, I'm not the person who's going to pull punches. If I say something, I don't intend it to be, I'm just blunt. I just
Right.
say,
And
I just
Yeah.
say what I am thinking, and then later on, I kick myself in the ass, and,
we all
you
do
know,
that.
but that's just how I am. I will say it how it is because
right.
You've
I don't
always been
believe
that
in
way.
pulling punches.
And
I've
that's
just never
good.
been that way.
She's
That's
always been
good.
that way, very
Yeah.
blunt. And
Yeah.
then she will say sorry, and it's like to the point where it's like, okay, come on, Dad. Like seriously, stop being sorry. This is ridiculous. Like
Well,
nothing.
right. I keep
But that's how she
apologizing too because
feels.
I do feel bad if I made her feel that way. I do. I'm so sorry.
No, you don't need to be sorry. You do not need to be sorry. It is okay.
Because I really do love you, and
I
I
just
watch you
don't
a
want
lot.
anyone thinking I don't want anyone thinking I'm trying to step on toes because that's not how I am.
Well, I don't want.
I will be blunt, but I won't
Yeah.
intentionally hurt anyone. I'm
And
not
that's
that
me. I
person.
would never want to hurt anybody on purpose or anything, and that's why I did. Like my heart feels terrible right now because
Oh,
I don't want to feel like I shut you down or, you know what I'm saying. I'm just passionate like you are, and I'm so sorry if I came off
That's
that
okay.
way.
It's okay. It's all right.
Well,
So,
thank you.
Nikki, here's the thing, okay?
okay.
There's a difference between being a healer and being a reader. There's a huge difference. There's a huge
Yeah.
difference between being an empath and being a reader. Okay?
Okay.
So a reader, what a reader is you can walk into a room and you were just describing it perfectly. You
Oh,
were
was I?
literally describing it perfectly. You can walk into a room of 1,000 people and you will feel the one person in that room who's in pain.
Yeah.
You will find them and you don't even know that you're doing it. You will
No.
literally just walk across the room until you find that person and you will sit with them and you will make them feel better or you will do everything in your power to do that. It is
Yes.
not a conscious thing. It is a spiritual thing. It's not being a healer. It's not being an empath. A reader is someone who reads people's spirits. You
Oh,
read their
wow.
soul. And when you come into play, you do not heal the body. You are not a physical healer. You are a
No.
spiritual healer, but you are beyond that. Your your strength is in the fact that your spirit heals their spirit.
That makes so much sense. Because, yeah, definitely, I can't do anything physically, but I always know. Like, there's just one quick little story I'll tell you about this young girl I seen. Uh, I don't know. This is strange, but now that you told me that, it's like, holy shit. It makes sense now. There was this young girl. I think she was, I'm going to say 14 or 15. She's a little bit overweight. I don't
She was
know.
a redhead.
I
She was
knew
a
it.
redhead, wasn't she?
Yeah, and I could feel it. Like she was sad about something, and automatically I knew it was like, holy shit, she's being bullied. And I don't know, I was in a convenience store and I was in there with her. I just remember seeing her. I somehow knew this, and I talked to her, and I was even gonna give her my number and everything. I'm like, here, have my number. I don't, I don't like bullies. I'll help you. And like, I was gonna be like this big sister if she needed me. I'd go to her high school and everything. What the fuck? Like, who does that? But and I helped her. I made her. She was laughing by the time she left me. But it's like, how do I know that? I made her feel better.
She was
I told her to say
Nikki.
fuck them.
Was she a redhead?
I think she was. It was dark red, like really dark.
Slender,
No, she was overweight a little bit.
overweight. Okay,
Yeah.
you've got another redhead in your life, then.
Oh, cool.
See, that's so cool. I think
I haven't
Deb and
seen
I are
her
more on
since.
the same line, more than we realize, honestly.
I'm always talking to
Listening to
people. I
her.
have no problem doing it too. It's weird. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm standing beside someone. I will start a conversation. If I'm in an elevator, like, God help y'all, because I won't shut up. I don't know. I just talk and talk and talk.
Never meet a stranger.
Yeah, I don't know strangers. I know everybody because I just
Right.
talk. It's something I've always done. But yeah, if I'm in a crowd, I don't do well. I don't know, social anxiety is what my doctor
You
called
know,
it.
that's what they say, but it is spiritual. She's right. Like, that
Yeah.
is a spiritual thing. And even the healing thing, like she was talking about, she's right about that. Like, because everything
does
happens in the
help.
spiritual before it happens in the physical realm.
It
You know
does
what I'm saying?
help, but yeah, like the one thing I could never fix, which bothered me, and that's how I knew we weren't right for each other, was my son's father. I can never help him. I can never make him feel better. I can never be almost enough for.
Well, because if he's a
He's getting these.
taker and
He
you're a
was
giver,
yes,
you're going to always
yes,
be giving and he's going to always
and I
be
knew
taking.
that, but I loved him, and I knew it wasn't going to work. I knew he cheated. I knew it. I knew. Of course, I knew. I didn't.
You love
I
to
thought
a
I could
fault.
change him. I thought that
You
I could
do.
help him.
You
I
love
thought,
to a fault.
yeah, I just thought that, well, maybe this day will be different. But every time he'd go in his room and he'd be in a bad mood, and it just killed me. It's like, I can't live like this. Like,
Well,
what
then,
do I
because
do? What can I do? Can I help you? I'm
you can't
nothing.
live around that when you feel like she said, when you feel that like stuff, you can't live around that and be
No,
peace and live in
I
peace. You
cannot
can't.
be. Mm-mm.
Well, as
It,
women, there are those women who are like us who think that if we can help other people, we should be able to help the man we love. And
yep,
Yeah.
that's
you're
how
right.
but it does not work
It
that
never
way. You
works.
cannot work. It's like, physician heal thyself.
You're right.
You can't perform surgery on yourself.
Right.
No.
You can't do medical things for your own family because you get too emotionally attached and it
Yep.
does not work out right.
Too
Yeah.
It's
close
the
to the
same
situation.
thing. It's the same thing with trying to do anything spiritual with someone you're that close to.
Mhm.
You can't do it because you're too emotionally attached
Yep.
and the emotions drain your energy
Yeah.
so hard that you can't even complete a sentence
Yeah, you
Yeah. You're
in
can't.
the
right.
process. You
No.
You're
literally
right,
are
Deb. You're right.
Yeah. You
so no, it does not work that way. And you're not going to find somebody who's perfect. You can find the
no.
person who's perfect for you though.
Yeah, I was gonna say perfect for us, maybe, but not perfect. We're none of us perfect, and I wish that would be the case. That would be nice, but you know,
I
There
think. Yeah.
there is one word of warning I want to give you, Nikki.
Okay.
I don't know whether anybody else will agree with this or not. I really don't care. Um, if you ever meet me, you'll understand why I say that.
no,
The one,
I think you're great. I
I
do.
think I already know why. I don't know. I feel like I know you. It's weird.
well, I think you know me pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty open person. I really am. People who say I'm hard to get to know are the people I don't want to get to know, so I avoid getting to know them.
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
but the one word of warning that I do want to give you, and I want you to take this to heart,
Okay.
if it is what if you feel that it is what you need to do, but I would like to see you take this to heart. And that is stop doing the I'm feeling it. Just a second. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm gonna cry.
That's weird. So am I. I'm like, I don't know why though.
Okay, there's somebody you are attached to, emotionally attached to, right now, who is draining you so badly that you are physically ill.
Yeah.
And I don't know who it is. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but I am crying. I can't. It's.
There's
Oh,
two. There's two, and they're
I
in
don't
my
know
dreams.
who.
I think
You
there's
need to get
three
rid of them.
actually.
There's somebody you have got to get rid of.
Like parasitic.
I have three of them actually, and I have nightmares about them all the time.
Yeah,
Mm.
you've got to
It
get away
doesn't
from that.
stop. I am a well.
Do you know who they are? Are you aware of who they are?
I know who they are because I know they do because I can't
Yeah.
sleep. I have nightmares, and it's I don't
Do you
know.
feel like do you
It
feel
doesn't.
like so exhausted when you're around them or talk to them that
I can't handle it.
yeah?
Every time I'm around them, I want to cry. I'm
There's a
heartbroken.
redhead.
That's my mother.
One of them's a redhead, huh?
That's my
Oh
mother.
no.
That's your mother.
Mhm.
Yeah. I told you there's a redhead that is just digging at you.
Yeah, it's my mother. I want a
And that's so
relationship, a close
complicated.
relationship. I love her. I want, but I feel like
Does she
she
try to control you? And
fuck,
do
she
you
hates
do you
me.
feel like you constantly have to impress her or try to
Yes.
like make her win her affection,
Yeah, but I
basically?
never will. I
Like you're
never
never good enough, or
never.
okay, like if you came up with a cure for cancer, she'd say, "That's great. Why didn't you do it sooner?"
Yes. Yes. Yes, that's her. But to me only, and I don't know why. It's only me.
It's because I'll tell you why. Honestly, if you really want to know, and Deb may already know this or feel it herself, but honestly, she sees that light in you too. And people that don't have it sometimes, and also it's look, parent and daughter, like mother daughter relationships, can be very complicated anyway. But it's because sometimes you're a lot alike in some ways, but
Yeah.
very different in others. And it's almost like the things that she doesn't like about herself, she might see in you, or the things she wished she were, she sees in you.
Yeah.
And it's not even about you; it's about her
See,
and the way
I
she feels
know
about
that. I
herself.
think I know. I feel like I know that. It's just her. She's my mother.
I
She
know.
should call me. She should visit me. Um, something, anything.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't have fucking parents. I never have. Never have.
that and
And
that's
then
so hard.
there's a dark haired asshole, and that was a stepdad. He's not in my life, but he's in my nightmares, and I
And
can't
I'm about to cry
get him
now.
gone.
I'm
He
going to
won't
tell you,
stop.
like I'm about to cry now because I feel like that is draining a lot of your energy,
It
and
is
you're
because I don't
giving
know how to
him
stop it.
power. You're giving him power that he took that when you were little, and you need to take that power back from him.
I don't know how. So I don't drink. I can't drink. If I drink, I go nuts.
Because he
Uh,
doesn't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Like he may have stole a portion of your life, or he thinks
yeah.
he did. But
Oh, he did.
honestly, you know what I'm saying? You can find happiness and peace, but it is going to take like a work. You know what I'm saying? Like
This has been going on for years. I'm talking
I'm
like
like
years and
this.
years, 20 years, 30 years. I don't know.
Like my heart right now feels like it's in my throat. Like even talking about this,
I've
and
had a
like
bad
my
life, and it's not
my
just
chest feels
like
heavy.
them. It's
Like
it's
my
it's
shoulders
spirit.
feel
It's
heavy.
fuck. I've had a bad life. I really have. And it's not just physical people. It's the spirits too. You know, like it
Yeah.
just. I haven't had a
It's
good
like
life at
they're
all.
it's like they're tormenting you sometimes.
I don't have parents. I can't just call up one and be like, hey, I need a hug. Can you come over and hang out? Because I
Right.
won't. They're like, why the fuck are you calling me? It's 10 o'clock.
Bless
Your
your heart.
grandmother might be sleeping. Like,
I'm so sorry.
it's
I'm so,
ridiculous. I hate it. I
and
hate it.
you were such a good mom. And you know what? The reason you're such a good mom, I'm going to tell you this because my mom was a lot like that when she was alive. But I loved her so much, and I just wanted her
Yeah.
approval. I was anorexic because she weighed 250 something pounds and was always telling me how I need to lose weight at 110 pounds and 5'9". And she was putting me on liquid diets constantly, and I was in pageants and just constantly trying to do anything I could to make her so that I could feel love for me. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh, I
my
know.
brother, like she made such a huge, huge difference between me and my brother, and he's an asshole. You know what I'm
So
saying?
is
And treated
mine.
her so bad,
So
like
does
literally
mine.
abused, like physically and verbally
Yeah.
abusive. But she
Yep.
would literally blame me for him acting like
Yes.
that.
I seriously get blamed for everything. I have two
Like he
younger
went to St.
siblings. Like,
Patrick's Day and got drunk. It was my fault, but I was sober, mind you, and I wasn't even. He came there on his own, but I drove him
oh
home because he was drunk,
my god.
but it was my fault. He was 20 something years old.
Oh yeah, it's like that with me too.
And Nikki, like I like, and does your mom try to like tell you how to like be a mother, and like does she try to control you in that aspect too? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
No,
make you feel like you're never measuring up or anything like that?
no, but she told me that one day I'm gonna have a man, and my kid is gonna be as bad as her kids, not me or Melissa, my younger two with a different father. And she
Wow.
said that my kid's gonna be like that, so I'll understand why she did what she did. My kid has never been grounded. My kid, and it's not just because he's my kid. He's amazing. Um, See, he didn't grow up with this bullshit that I did.
Right.
And I
Well,
told her,
you're
I said,
amazing.
I will prove you wrong. I will prove you wrong. And I did.
Yeah, you're
And
an
that's why
amazing mother, and that's
I don't.
very obvious. And maybe, I look back now because I was like that with my kids. Like, just people call them helicopter parents, I guess. Well, that's what
Yeah,
my best friend told me. I was a helicopter parent. Well, I'm like, that's good because these days I feel like
I
you
am
have to
too.
be. But I'm just so scared of something ever happening to my child. And
Yeah,
you
me too.
know,
But what we have to understand though is we kind of have to back off sometimes.
I
And I'm
know. Listen,
learning
it's so
that
hard. One of
because,
my kids are at sea right now. The one that cut his leg with the box cutter.
oh
Like,
my,
that's something you can't be there for. So you just gotta let it go, and then just like I pray to God, that He would get to shore.
yeah,
But I'm just saying, like all my kids are going through different, like because they're such in different places in their life, all four of them.
yeah,
And I've had to learn. And there's a story about an eagle, and the nest, and
yeah,
how if a mother eagle doesn't nudge her children out the nest, she pushes them out, and then she'll scoop down and save them before they hit the ground, and she'll take them and put them back up in the nest, and she keeps doing that over and over
yeah,
until the baby eagles actually learn to fly on their own.
yeah,
So it's kind of like, you know, you're you like you have to let them fly is what I'm trying to say. But you
yeah,
give them roots to know where to come home to when they go fly off, and you know they got the roots to come home.
yeah,
And I think you're an amazing mother. Like the way that you just talk about your son all the time, I can tell like he is so blessed to have a mom like you. That's why I said if you ever did consider fostering or anything, like I think you would
Oh,
be so
I can
awesome.
already picture it. I think me and my son will love it. I've already mentioned it to him, and I can just picture it. I have a back room. It's big enough. I can have whoever, stay back there. That will be there. Not stay back there, sir. That'll be their
Yeah.
room. Will actually become a family, and
Yeah.
to having the dinners together, and hopefully they're religious too, so they can pray. He can pray with Lena at the table, and I'll just
Well,
kind of sit
he can
there
be kind of
silent.
like a big brother, you know what I'm saying? And that
Yeah,
would be
or a
so
big
fun for
sister or
him.
something.
Yeah.
I think
No
that,
matter how they are, because
yeah,
all kids need,
he needs a
there's so many
sibling.
children.
He does need a sibling. I can't just go out and make him one, and I won't do that, and he knows that. Um, but I mentioned
And
fostering, and he's like, that would be really cool. And
oh,
you know,
that's good. He's into it. Yeah, he's all
yeah, but
for it.
if they're really, really bad, I'm gonna work on them. I think I can help. I really do. I think it will take
Well,
a while,
you
but I think I can help.
well think about it. That is your purpose. Think about it. Okay, you said you don't know your purpose.
No,
Well, we just sat here and talked about like the kind of things that you're capable of and the gifts that you have, and
yeah.
maybe that is your purpose. Maybe that is your calling.
I've
Maybe
always
that's
felt
why.
like that's. I'm always been a helper. Always, like I always. I don't know. I have to know what's going on. I have to be there. I have to fix it. But to become a veterinarian, I could never do. Never. I can't. I want to volunteer. I'll take the dogs for a walk. But if I find out that dog's put down, it'll kill me. A
Oh
cat, a
yeah,
dog, it'll kill me. So I know I can't necessarily volunteer there because it'll kill me. I know it will.
right. If you see them
I know
die
it will.
or
It
something
will
happen.
destroy me when I find out that one of them's gone. I don't know. So I don't know what to do. And then I'm thinking, if I foster and I get this kid, I become attached to this kid, I finally
Yeah.
show them love and they change and they go back to that environment. Oh my God.
No, that's hard, and that is a only
That
drawback to
is
something
going to
like that.
destroy me and will take me everything in my power not to go kidnap them, basically, because I
I know,
probably would
especially if
try.
they go back to a bad situation and you know it, But a lot of times, when kids are put in foster care system and their parents are on drugs or whatever, like they do give the parents like a good ample time to try to do the right things. But if those parents don't follow through with the plan, like their rights are terminated. And if you're the foster mother, you get first dibs on whether you want to adopt them usually. Or in America that's the way it is. I don't know if it's that way in Canada.
I think it's similar, and I would love to adopt another child, but I can't afford that. There's the
Well,
lawyers' fees and everything in general. It's like,
well
just
in
give me
Canada
the child, I can love them, but it's
well in
not like
Canada
that.
do they not pay like because in America, like okay, if
Yeah,
you
they give you like a certain amount of money to help take care of this child, which
right
I
to
wouldn't
help
even
raise the
care, to be
baby.
honest. I don't
Yeah.
care about the money. I would rather them, if they need school supplies or new clothing or
Well,
something, to buy that.
yeah.
I don't need money.
In other words, well, to pay for whatever they need, so they
Yeah,
don't
just
go
pay
without,
for
so they
the
can have
child.
whatever
Don't
they
give me
need.
money. Just give
So
them
they
what
can
they
go to private school with your son,
yeah, or something. Yeah.
whatever, but that, money is for them or whatever. And like, I do believe that you could definitely make a difference in some children's lives for sure. I mean, no doubt about that. I feel like you're a natural born mother. Do you know how some people are born and they just have no mothering instincts? Like,
Yes.
they like almost are like, what are those like animals that just drop their young and go on? You know what I'm saying? Like
I think it's turtles.
something like that. Yeah, there's people like that, and I don't know how they can do it, but and
You mean
then there are
KJ?
people. Oh yeah, like
Yeah,
her. That's exactly right.
that's another one.
Damn,
Yeah.
you're right. That's a
She's
perfect
even
example.
stated that she never
She didn't
wanted
want that
children.
baby. She
She had
admitted
that
she
baby
had
for
him for
Todd,
Todd,
and that was it, and that was all. And she will
and
never
it's
give. She
obvious,
wouldn't give another one. It was
is it
just
not?
like, I could never say that about my child because
I
it's not
can't
true for
either.
one. But like,
But even if it was true, you don't say it.
yeah, you don't say that.
I mean, he's gonna see that one day,
Yeah, he is.
and he already can feel it. I'm sure, because
I think that's why I don't like her. So, like, I really, really, really don't like KJ. I don't want to say hate because it's such a strong feeling. It's such a,
I
but I'm
know.
like close because her child, her animals, even I just,
Feel for them.
I feel for them. Even her husband, he's a dick. He
He
really
is,
is,
but
but
I
he
still
does
feel
take care of
bad.
that kid.
Yeah, I
But the
know.
thing is, I don't know if he realizes the shit his wife has caused. I think he goes with it because he genuinely believes that she is being stalked, harassed, and bullied. I'm
Well, she
serious.
convinces him, she manipulates
Yes.
him into believing this stuff.
And that's what I think. So he, goes on rampages as well and tells people off, and because he really
Well,
believes her.
men can be abused emotionally and psychologically just like women. You know what I'm
Oh, I
saying? I
think
mean,
he is.
and
Definitely.
the thing is, you know
Yeah.
how women, if they're in an abusive relationship, they end up being somebody they're not in the
Yeah.
beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a man is the same way. Like he may have been different a long time ago, but being married to her
Yeah. Like,
could have
But
changed
think
him a
about
little
it.
bit.
he's there.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. hang on. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. But I am going to say this. I think Todd is a very good man and a very good husband. And here is why. Here is why. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
Every wife should have a husband who stands behind her,
Right.
Yeah.
who believes in her, who
Right.
wants the best for her, and will stand up for her when he feels that she is being put in danger,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
or when she feels that someone is putting her in a situation where she is having to defend herself in any
Mhm.
way. He's
I agree
going
with
to
you.
stand there and he's going to do what he needs to
That
do to
means he's a good
protect her.
husband. You're right. He's a
And
good husband to
that
her.
makes him a good husband.
I agree with you. He is a good husband. He's a fantastic father. But
Yeah.
I'm saying that I think, like, he has said some negative things about other women, like made derogatory comments and racist comments.
I
So
think he thinks it's okay though because they
I
do it
don't
for
mean as a
her.
father, or I don't mean as a father or a dad, because I think he is awesome. And if it wasn't for him,
Yeah.
that poor kid, seriously. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I think he loves that kid because he wanted that kid. Like, he begged her to have that kid.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I still think he's a piece of shit person.
Me
That's
too.
what we're saying.
Please
We
do
think,
not think I am
yeah,
defending the person
we think he's an
behind the
asshole.
husband. I
Yeah,
am
we think
simply
he's an
saying
asshole, but he's
he
a good
is
dad
a
and
good
father.
husband because he
Yeah,
does do what he should do.
I
And
Yeah.
agree
that
with
is
you
he stands
100%.
by his wife.
That is
Yeah,
the
And
main
he
thing. Yeah. That
and
and
that's
he
what
takes
every
care of his
woman wants.
child.
Yeah,
that's what
that's what
every
every
woman
woman
would want.
deserves. They
Yeah.
deserve. Every woman deserves it, and it's sad because she really doesn't deserve it because there's a woman out there that would really love that and
Yeah.
appreciate it and give him that back. But it's kind of like what you were saying, and I was saying before about being in a relationship with somebody that's just a taker,
Yeah.
and you're the giver. Todd's the giver, and she's the taker. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And it's like, I don't know. It's like even when she's been on lives with him and stuff, she just dismisses him in front of
Yeah.
everybody, and
She
it's
does.
like it makes me feel uncomfortable to even watch that sometimes
Yeah.
because he is a good husband and a good father. Like, he may be an ass,
He is an
but
ass, but I understand why because he's defending his wife. He honestly
right,
believes his wife is in the right. And if someone's
right.
going to come for her, he's going to come
He's
for
gonna
them.
defend
And I
her,
get
right?
that. I really, truly do. I just,
I totally do too,
But
and
he's
I would
still a
expect
piece of
nothing
shit.
less.
yeah,
Right? We
yeah,
can
He
all
is
we
still a piece of shit. And I
yeah,
can
we
tell
all
you that
100% agree on that.
I
yeah,
can tell you that from just the experiences that I have had with him, I can tell you so much about that man just
Oh,
from
really?
seeing him once, much less spending
You've seen him before in
any time
person?
with him. Oh, if I spent time with him, I would.
Did you see him?
It,
Did you
it
see
would
him
it would literally be physically impossible for me to stay in the same
in the
room with
same
him.
room?
yeah.
Have you seen him like in live before, or like, have you met him in
I
real life?
I have not met him in real life. I
Oh,
have not.
ooh,
I have seen him in little spotlight spoofs that he's done when
uh,
he has called women the, see you next Tuesday
yeah,
and
yeah,
Yes,
things
yeah,
like that
yeah.
and so
See,
yes.
forth.
that's
I've
what I was
seen
talking
him,
about. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and that makes
Um,
me like so angry. When people talk about women, like that in general.
and I don't care what they try to say about, oh, we never said he was a Satanist. Yes, they did. They said he
Yeah,
was a Satanist, and he is.
yeah, I believe so.
He
He said he's a pagan for sure. I did hear him say that, and I'm agreeing with you. I think he's into some darker things.
Yeah, even the neighbors said that, and there's evidence. I've seen it all. I mean, there's something up there.
Can I
Uh,
tell you guys a little secret?
sure.
Yes.
Nikki already knows this. Nikki, where does my daughter live?
Oh, you're the one that. Oh, I remember. I think I remember you saying that, but she doesn't know KJ or anything, but lives
Yeah,
similar or close.
yeah. She's very close, but we were not going to say, "Oh,
Tell
hey,
her.
go have a look" or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I would
Not
never do
pull her in
that.
the middle of that. No.
No,
But do
she's
you
very
know how
close.
much information I can get just
Mhm.
from having an address in that town that
Mhm.
I can
Mhm.
look up and find because I can put in, an address
Oh,
that
heck
gets me
yeah.
information that's only available to residents and so
Yeah.
forth. So I have that
Yeah.
address. You would not
Oh,
believe some of
wow.
the things I have learned.
I
I
can
wish
just
I wish you
imagine.
could share. I wish you could share
So,
something.
oh, you wouldn't believe the neighborhood complaints that are against them.
Oh, I would
Really?
imagine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She
They live in a
accused them,
subdivision?
Shayla, of throwing rocks at her son,
What?
which never happened, ever.
Because I don't. Does he even go outside?
He was younger in a stroller, and apparently her neighbors decided to throw rocks at her son. And she said,
What?
she's like,
Yeah, and come to find out that he actually broke a kid's nose with a rock instead of it being the other way around.
Oh gosh.
wow. Is it
Well,
true that
Deb,
he got fired from, Todd got fired from his job because he got caught for smoking pot? I heard that.
did
Somebody
he?
told me that, but I got no
Yep.
evidence of it.
There's so much stuff. There's so
Yeah.
much stuff.
Yeah. What
But
type of Satanist is he? Is he
I have no
the
clue.
Anton LaVey kind that they don't believe in an actual literal devil? You know, they just believe in self worship and things like that. Well, that's what they put out anyway. We know, you know. But
a,
then there
a
are actual.
Satanist is not a satanic worshiper.
Yeah,
There's
like
a
there are two
difference.
different kinds. Yeah.
A Satanist a Satanist is someone who actually they have
Like I said, which one is?
kind of a basic Christian moral system actually. I mean, it's not
So
they
it's
don't
the
go around, murmuring people and stuff like that. It's not what people think.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't devil worshippers.
okay. Well, that's what
A
I'm talking. Like
Satanist is someone who believes in the power and the strength of Satan
God,
over
Yahweh,
the power of God.
right?
Oh, wow.
That it isn't a matter of, they're not evil doers and so forth and so on. It's not like that.
Now
A
there are
Satanist
Satanists.
is
Well, there are devil worshippers or whatever you want to call them. Because I mean, there are so many different titles. Lucifer is actually a title. You know what I'm saying? But
well,
you
no,
know,
there are different there are different
segues.
there are different religions based on what Christian raised people or people who are raised in a Christian society, even if they don't claim that type of title, what we look at as being evil. And they're not necessarily evil. Satanists are not necessarily evil.
Well, maybe not all
Just
of
like
them.
anyone else, it's just like anything else. There are the good and there are the bad. You've got the good and you've got the evil in anything and everything. Just
Yeah.
like the church,
Right.
Yeah, I
you
was
know.
just going to say that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are plenty of churches that should not even call themselves a church and should not. You know
Well,
what I'm
there
saying?
are people
Operate
who shouldn't call themselves a
Christians.
Christian.
Right.
I mean, it isn't the building, it isn't the belief that makes
Right.
it bad or good. It's
Well, our
who the
temple is our
person is.
body.
The
I mean,
person is who is what makes that person good or evil. I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
You're
that's
not walking in a brick and mortar building. That's not what.
Have you guys ever seen Stigmata?
Oh, oh my
yes.
gosh, a long time ago.
Okay.
Oh yes.
For you, for the people watching, if you haven't seen it, watch it. That movie describes exactly what you
If
just
you've got
said.
a strong spirit, if you can get through it with a strong spirit, yes.
That God isn't about a building. It's not at all. God's
No.
everywhere, and that's what they were trying to say. That movie really
Yeah.
stuck out to me, actually. If you believe, you believe. You don't need a church.
Like
It's not walls.
there are plenty of people sitting in church that
Mhm.
don't even believe as much as some people who don't go to church at all.
Yep. It was a good
And
movie.
And see, that's the thing is that Satan is the satanic cult actually does not believe they actually do not embrace doing harm to others. They
well,
do
that's
not
what I was getting
embrace
at.
doing
There is dark
performing
magic.
evil they do not embrace performing evil acts upon other people for the fun of it or because you can or whatever.
Yeah.
The satanic cult is not based on doing evil. it is based on the belief that Lucifer was an angel. He was
Right.
God's right hand angel. And when God came down and was forming the earth and forming the planets, and he was forming man, he was spending time away, and Lucifer got power hungry and he tried to take God's throne. He
Okay.
was he was rebuked by God and he was kicked out of heaven along with the angels who had sworn allegiance to Lucifer. They were cast into the pits of hell for all of eternity as a punishment for going against God and trying to take over heaven. So God gave Lucifer his own kingdom.
And that's the world right now.
No, that's hell.
No, there's not a hell yet.
Yes, there is.
Mm,
Lucifer is in hell. It
well,
is it
it's
is very it
in
is
the
very
Christian
well documented the in the Bible and so
in
forth
in the
that
Christian
Lucifer is in
religion.
hell.
Well, remember in the Bible in Job where it says Lucifer was like roaming the earth to and fro, and he actually went to the throne of God. Like he still is able to go in front of the throne of God, even though he's been kicked down. And Isaiah it says, "Woe, how you have fallen, Lucifer, O morning star! You have cut yourself low. You have weakened the nations." That's in Isaiah, and it talks about when Lucifer fell and he took a third of the angels with him, and his dominion is the earth, because when he tempted Jesus on the mountain and when he was in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. Now this is just Christian theology, mind you. This is not everybody's belief. I was just saying in the Christian faith, um that I believe in, and that what the Bible says, that Jesus actually was tempted by Satan himself, Lucifer, who was fallen and became Satan, and then said that as far as his eye could see could be his if he would bow down and worship him. So if Yeshua would bow down and worship Lucifer or Satan in his fallen state, that he would give him the dominion or the king, the world. And he said, I will not do that. And he tempted him two other times. And he just would use scripture to counteract the enemy. And actually, his whole ministry did not even start until he was um, in the wilderness and was tempted by the enemy. And that's why a lot of times in churches, people will say, like, truly, if you're not a broken person, if you've never been broken or you've never even gone through hard times, like, it's hard to help other people. Like, broken people help other broken people.
Okay,
And
so
so, some people call
I
themselves Christian just by name only. Like, they don't really love other people. They don't really care about other people. It's just they've been raised to say they're Christian, but they
okay,
don't even really
I
believe.
did not say that Lucifer could not roam the earth. I said that he was given hell
Well,
as
eventually,
his
yeah.
kingdom. So
Well, eventually, that's what he's going to be
Satanists,
over.
that is hell. That is
Right.
his kingdom. That is what he was given.
But I'm saying
God
right
gave him
now,
hell as his own personal kingdom.
because in Ephesians 2:2 it says he is the prince of the
I'm
power of
not
the
saying
air.
that he is there all of the time now.
No, he's,
That's not what I
yeah,
said. He was given hell as his kingdom. That is his
domain.
kingdom. So
Right.
the Satanists, what they feel is what they do is they celebrate Satan as they celebrate Lucifer
The
as
morning
the
star.
master of hell, as the king of hell. They do not say that God does not exist.
No, they
It is
believe in
simply
God,
that
but they just
they
choose
it
not
is
to
just that they worship Satan as
instead.
opposed to worshiping
Right.
God as the higher deity.
Right.
So
Well, I,
when
I agree with you
when
about
I
that.
say when I say that Satanists are not inherently evil, they are not it is not a matter of I'm not saying that they are good people, that they are Christian people, however you want to define good or
Good or
whatever.
whatever. Yeah.
It's just a matter of there is a difference in their belief system, but they do
Right.
not believe in going out and killing people. They do not believe in
Well,
going out and committing heinous
Well,
acts
Jeffrey
against
Dahmer was a
people and so
Satanist.
forth.
He
Well,
was a Satanist, but he was a different. That's what I was trying to say when I was saying what
Jeffrey
kind of
Dahmer was
Satanist.
Jeffrey Dahmer, though.
Right, but like we were saying about the church, you know what I'm saying? Like there's
But
different kind of people in everything. So like,
well, that's the
okay,
thing.
there
That's
are
why I
some
never
people.
say anything about the church. I refer to
Right,
people by as people.
right,
Whatever their belief system is their belief system.
right,
But what makes them who they are is, and as a Christian or a non-Christian or a this or a
or
that or
whatever.
a whatever, is the person they are. I don't look at people and consider anything in their belief system, because that's not for me to judge.
Right. I agree. I'm the same way with that. Like I don't judge other people according unless they're imposing harm on another person.
I
That's the
don't
only
judge.
time that
I
I'm like I don't agree with that because you're imposing your will on somebody else and that is not good
well,
ever.
I don't judge their belief system. I mean, a lot of people have a very strong belief system, but they still do harm. I don't judge someone's belief system. What I do is I judge the person.
Well, but if they're molesting
So,
children in the name of something, you know
but
what I'm
that's not
saying?
their belief system. That's what they do.
No, but it may be hiding behind a belief system, is what I'm trying to say. Like, okay, some people will do things in they to that person, they'll do it in the name of God or whatever. Like, these kids that have been molested in the church, in whatever church, it doesn't matter what denomination, it happens to every denomination. Like there are bad people, that do bad things. And I'm sorry, but imposing a sexual will on a child that is not able to make that kind of choice is bad. That is bad. And there are just certain principles. I don't care if you're a Christian or not. You know, I mean, you don't kill other people. You don't get that right to take somebody else's life. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're defending your own, like somebody's fixing to kill you or your child or something. But like, you don't just to get to decide, oh well, this neighbor over here is a real pain in the ass. I'm going to go over there and just decapitate him and eat his balls for supper. And I mean, there are people that are actually out there and do stuff like that.
Their balls for supper.
Yes, there's a
Yeah.
man named Pee Wee Gaskins, and he was electrocuted in
Oh,
the electric
frick,
chair in
yeah.
South Carolina. You've read that book? It's called The Final Truth. But he was actually
No.
he was a friend of my uncle's, and I didn't know he was like that. But he drove a hearse around. He was a different kind of guy, you know. But he actually he was a prolific serial killer back in the like 70s and 80s, and like in Myrtle Beach area. And then he was a carny and went up and down the East Coast. But anyway, he like killed his niece, and then he raped her daughter,
Oh
and
my
he stuck a
God.
hose pipe up this woman's vagina that was of African American descent, only because she was African American, and he put a hose pipe in her vagina until it ruptured. Like, people that get joy out of torturing other people, and there are people like that out there. There really are. And it's
Mhm.
sad to think that people could be that, like, sick or evil, or twisted, but unfortunately there are.
There
Because
is.
we see the fruit of that, like Jeffrey Dahmer. You know, now whatever he says he is by his fate, that is to me of no coincidence because he did what he did, and that's not good. I mean, we
Yeah.
can all agree on that. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't bore a hole in somebody's head and put hot water or acid or whatever, or take a bunch of body parts and throw them in a vat in your apartment. You know what I'm saying? And try
Yeah.
to dispose of them and then make an altar to the devil. And I mean, he was doing what he was doing at that point later on when he spiraled downward more. I think he got to drinking more, And did you say you were watching that on Netflix, Nick?
No,
Oh,
it's a new one on Netflix, but I don't have Netflix anymore. I
yeah.
gotta find it.
I've been watching. Well, I've been watching. I didn't know Deb had seen it. Somebody I thought was on here talking about it. I thought.
Yeah, they were watching it. I will when I don't know. I figured I gotta find it on some other website.
Well, be prepared when you do, because I mean,
Bad.
it is sick. I mean, even the music that goes with it and everything. And that guy, he's a pretty famous actor. But man, he really does play Jeffrey Dahmer pretty daggum good.
Yeah, he's the one that plays off American Horror Story.
Yeah, Tate. Well, in some of the episodes he plays Tate.
Yeah.
And my daughter loves, she thinks he's like really cute, and she like watched him on a couple of things, and she actually, turned on like the first chapter of Dahmer or whatever, and turned it on just to see, and then she was like, "I'll never be able to look at him the same way ever again."
Yeah.
But like some people, I mean, like I said, I mean, what I think it's just okay. People do things in the name of God that are horrible.
Yeah.
We can all agree on that.
Can somebody let me know if this link works? Sorry.
Which one?
No, I just want someone to click on it if it says anything about, is it even mine? This PayPal link? Because I'm trying to figure it out, and I don't know.
That?
It keeps telling me I have my link. Well, where?
I don't see a link. I don't see one.
Oh, wait.
Damn it. Now, I saw something down there on your banner. It said trigger warning. Everything I say is my opinion. And then I see...
Yeah, I put it in the chat there. I'm just trying to figure out if it works or not. It's weird.
Is anybody on there that can, like, push a button?
Yeah, just tell me what it says. Does it say my name or anything? Or is it just... It might start tonight.
Yes, Cindy.
It is. Okay, is it my name, though? Like...
I see it right there. www PayPal. Here.
Yeah,
it does say Nikki38.
It does? Oh, good. Okay.
Well, not in the www. It says www.paypal.com/PayPalMe/my profile, but it says Nikki38 at the top. Let me push
okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was the right link because I couldn't find it. It kept saying like it was hard to get these ones. Same with to link my Instagram. I don't know how to do it.
I don't know how to do that stuff.
It says I have to go on my phone to get this, to get that. It took you to your own PayPal? Yeah. Okay. So it isn't it.
Oh, gosh. Can you get in your PayPal and then copy a link and then drop that
I'm trying.
in there? It won't do it.
It says you've already got your link. Yeah. No, I don't. There's my link. Copy link. Okay. I'm going to try and put it.
Cinderella said it's working. I love that name, Cinderella.
Yeah, it's cute.
I love that. That's cool. Deb said it took her to her own PayPal, though.
Yeah, it doesn't take anyone to mine. Okay, let me see if this.
Then Cinderella said, "Oh wait, no, it's asking for my info."
Yeah. Damn it. All right. I think I figured it out. Yeah, I do have my PayPal link in my basic info. Huh.
And how is it that you do the coffee thing? You know where it says you can buy a cup of coffee or something? Oh, it says right there, buy me a coffee.
Yeah, it's in my about section on my
right there. It says Nikki45
YouTube page.
456.
Right,
on your YouTube page.
Oh, is this one? No, it's on if you go onto my channel and it says like the community tab, and then there's the very last one says about. If you go in there, it's on that. See if this one works. This one says my name. You have 220. I have apparently $9 and some odd cents that I can't get out because it says it's not enough to come out.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not fair. You can definitely buy coffee with that.
Yeah, that's on my PayPal. I don't know. It's been sitting there for a while.
I guess it depends on where you go. Do you have Starbucks in Canada?
Yeah, but I don't have one here. That one works? Oh, good. Can you, Deb, sorry, keep bugging you, but can you go onto my about section if you can and see if that works? It's on there too, but I was told to put it on there because no one's seeing it. At least I think it works. Hope so. That one does. Okay. Because someone said the one, what do you call it? Somebody said the one in my about section doesn't work, so I may have to change it.
Uh-oh.
Here, maybe I'll
you don't want people doing like trying to give you something and then it goes to somebody else or doesn't work at
Yeah.
all. It'd be better not to work at all though than to go to somebody else's.
Yeah.
It's hard to get your money back if you send it to the wrong place sometimes.
Let me try this one. If not, then I fucked up.
Deb said that her daughter set her up a GoFundMe page for medical bills. How do you did you put it on your like YouTube channel like a link?
Oh, I can only put 5 links. That's why. One, two.
Oh.
Yeah. How come I can't?
Deb, you don't have insurance. That is horrible if you can't get like Medicaid or I don't know if you live in like America or Canada or where. Oh, well, I know where you said your daughter went, but I don't know where you live. Does she live in Canada or U.S.? Oh no, you don't have insurance. Shoot. Yeah, I can't work either because I have lupus. It sucks. But I have Medicaid for another year because I have a daughter that's a minor still. But as soon as she leaves for college next year, I won't have it either. I won't have any more insurance.
The second, so the one on my about section works. Okay. You should give me your GoFundMe so I can share it. I shared it for someone
Yeah.
else as well, a couple people.
Yeah, Deb, that's not really begging because you really, I mean, that medical bill, that's something you need. You know,
Yeah.
if you're sick, I mean, that don't feel like you're begging because, like, you have not because you ask not, right?
Okay.
And if you're sick, I mean, you've got to go to the doctor and go to the hospital and keep yourself um, healthy for
I think
your
it's her
family.
arm because she has to have surgery, so I'm assuming that's what it's for.
Oh,
Yeah, she tore the like rotator cuff or whatever it's called.
oh no.
Yeah, so she has to have surgery.
And that's hard to like sleep on your side or anything. It hurts so bad. I've never had that, but I've heard other people,
Yeah.
who have talked about it. I mean, thank God I've not experienced that. Now I've had some pain, but not there. I just got my dad on Medicaid. Cindy Relish said, I just got my dad on Medicaid. It was a huge challenge to finally get him qualified. Yeah, it's so hard. And it's like the people that need it the worst can't get it. Now,
Yeah.
that's one thing I love about Canada. Now, I don't know because I might have a totally misconception of it. But the universal health care, like, I think everybody deserves health care.
Yeah.
Now, do y'all get to go, like, okay, if you have to go to the doctor, do you have to pay like a copay or anything, or is
No,
it just
we use our health card. We go in, we have our appointment. The only thing we have to pay for is prescriptions and dental care.
yeah? Oh wow, that's amazing. Like
Yeah.
surgery or anything you need,
Yeah.
that is awesome. See,
Yeah.
and is medical cannabis legal there?
It's what, sorry?
It's like medicinal cannabis. Is it legal there?
Oh, yeah, I got a store right down the road.
Oh, really? See,
Yep.
that's what we need here. And the
Yeah.
reason I'll tell you why we won't have, like, I know that we've had a lot of states that have been able to open dispensaries and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's the big pharmaceutical companies because we have all that private insurance here.
Yeah.
And it's like if you've got money and you've got money to buy good insurance, you're rolled out the red carpet and treated like a royalty.
Yeah.
But because I used to have private insurance till I got lupus, and they went up to $800 a
Holy
month
shit. Yeah,
on
that's
me alone,
ridiculous.
on
That's
just me, and that was literally like 15 years ago. Can you imagine now what it would be? I mean, I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
And I mean, who could pay that?
Yeah, you can't. That's why
And
I'm
they know,
glad in Canada. It's you for like dental care, yeah, it's expensive as hell. Like it's bad. So you really got to save for it and hope in hell you don't get
sick.
the toothache or something or a cavity or you have
See,
to
that's
really.
what's going on with me right now. I have a tooth in the very back because of my lupus and
Yep.
Sjogren's. It causes my mouth to get really dry, like on the top especially. And so my top teeth, I have periodontal disease. And
Yeah.
I literally have a tooth in the back that is hollowed out completely where my root, you can see
Oh
Like
my God.
it's horrible. And I had an abscess. They've given me 3 rounds of augmentin because I can't find a dentist that I can afford to go get my stupid tooth pulled at because I
Oh,
don't have it. I don't have dental insurance, and I
yeah.
mean it's right. And it hurts. You know how toothache is. My God, I mean it's almost like worse than labor because it doesn't
Yeah.
give up. At least
Oh my God.
contractions, you get a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
It's,
Teeth pain is the worst.
it is. And I feel sorry for anybody that doesn't have insurance and needs to go get help because even with Medicaid that I've got in the America I'm speaking about, which is would be like something y'all have got, it would be where the state or the country pays for your health insurance because you
Hmm.
don't make enough money, we're low income or whatever.
Yeah.
So um, I've got that. But even if you've got that, they treat you like crap. They
Yeah.
really do.
That's not right.
And Deb said that her husband worked for Walmart, so he should have had great insurance, but they messed that up. She
Yeah.
said
Walmart's fucked that up, she says.
that sucks. And cannabis really heals so many things,
Hmm.
and that is why in America they fought it so hard. For 2 reasons:
Oh,
was one was race because of the Mexican border and all that stuff, and they didn't want the Mexicans or they called them something else. I don't even know. I don't even want to say it. Whatever. But it was so racist. But it was to keep uh, certain people. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
also it's because big pharma makes so much money off of these private insurance companies
Yeah.
and off of these medicines and stuff, and they don't want people to be able to actually get healed because
Exactly.
if if you got to take 4 pills or if you take one pill for something, then you'll get a side effect and have to get on another pill, and then a
Yeah.
side effect from that and get on another pill, and it's almost comical if you read or listen to those commercials, those like drug commercials, and they'll say, it's for like say, I don't know, just say it's for vertigo or something, dizziness in your head. And they're like, this is a great medication for so and so, but it could cause death, it could cause seizures, it could cause, and the list of what it could cause is worse than what your sickness is to start with.
Yeah. I agree.
But medical marijuana, like that Rick Simpson oil, even that Megan Walsh is using on her nose. Have you
Yeah.
seen her nose? Like
Yeah. I
it's
seen it when
growing
it was
back.
bad and it's getting better.
And I studied that Rick Simpson oil when I first heard about it about 4 years ago, and because I knew somebody had cancer, and I
Yeah.
sent them the link, and I don't know if they ever did it because I think they felt some kind of way. People are brainwashed in America about marijuana. They like have been
Yeah.
told that it's this evil thing and that it's horrible and you're a horrible person. But I'll tell you right now, I used to be on them opiates and pills and stuff from my doctor, and I couldn't even function as a mother or a wife. I got
Yeah.
off that crap 7 years ago this November, and honestly, medical marijuana has taken care of my pain, but it doesn't make me tired at all because I have actual physical pain.
Yeah.
So, like maybe people that
Yeah.
don't
'Cause
have
it
no
will
pain,
work
they get
different.
high. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't even get high, like ever. I mean, it would be nice sometimes maybe to be able to feel that, but if you really got real bad pain and or
It
something going
works.
on and you take it works different and it doesn't make you feel high.
Yeah.
And I've got a very high tolerance, unfortunately.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Do you smoke vape?
Yeah. I don't smoke pot in it or anything, but
Oh,
I do have a bunch of joints I bought
CBD.
from the store.
Oh,
Yeah, for pain.
do you? Does it work for you?
Yep. Same with
Yeah.
the gummies work.
I've
Um,
never been able to get those. I want to try them so bad.
my aunt and uncle make chocolate, so if I ever need something for pain, I just go there.
And see, I think that eating it would work better.
It does. And if you're in pain, it actually helps. If you're not in pain, you get fucked.
Well,
So I've never
see,
got fucked off them, but it does help me for migraines and stuff. Oh yeah.
oh yeah, oh yeah. That's actually why I started doing it. Was from my migraines that came from the lupus,
Yeah.
and they put me on Topamax, and that made me feel so weird. So I got off of that and got on the natural stuff, the herbal. I call it my herbal medicine. But um, like I have never been high off of it or anything. Like
Yeah.
now, I've ate some what do you call the brownies?
Okay.
Somebody, yeah, one of my friends, but it worked so good. Like before I knew it, when it sneaks up on you, like you
Yeah.
know, like if you did about a couple of shots or something, you know how like you'll be completely sober and it just all hits you at once.
Yeah. It hits you at once.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
it's not even like a high feeling, but it was more
Or
just
like
a
a body
whole
buzz.
body relax
Yeah.
or something. It was, I mean, I liked it honestly, but like I don't have dispensaries around where I live, so I would have to literally drive a long way to go find one. But it's worth it probably. Does your
Thank you, Dad.
insurance pay for that, or do you have to pay for it?
I pay for it. Yeah.
Oh, too bad the insurance won't pay for it.
Yeah. I
What's
did. I checked it. Thank you.
cannabis
Now it's
versus
$10.29.
Yay! Do you have to
Because
have
like
over $10?
that's what I don't know. I guess so. They're saying there's money on hold and they won't give it to me. So I guess I wait for tomorrow. I don't know. This is
Oh, is
weird.
that through PayPal?
Yeah.
Because if people like pay, because my husband he'll get paid by PayPal sometimes through his business
That worked out.
through my PayPal, but sometimes if people don't pay through family or friends and they pay through goods and services, like it held our money up before.
Ah, okay. Maybe
So you
that's
have
why.
to ask people to pay through friends or family,
Yeah.
so it'll be available right away and it doesn't ever put it on hold.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
that's
Because
how ours works,
yeah, it's on hold.
and they'll hold it for a while too.
Yeah, they are. It's been a while. It's been like 3 weeks.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
You could use that money, I'm sure.
Yeah, but well, it's only now thanks to Deb, it's $10. So it's not like I have need it, but it's yeah, it's weird. Oh, I should get off here though. I gotta get my kid in bed because he's still up.
What time is it? I didn't even look.
Almost 11.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
Yeah,
it was
we've
that
been on
late.
here for like 4 hours, but that's all
Oh,
right. I had
dang.
fun.
I did too. And again, I just want to say that I hope I didn't come off offensively to anybody or anything. Because
No,
I get excited about things. That's what
yeah,
it
I
is.
know. So
I
do
get
I.
like
No, I
excited and
know.
passionate. And like, I mean, absolutely no harm or ill will toward anybody. Like,
Yeah,
I love Deb. Like I've watched her on here with you and like listened to some of hers on her thing. And also like the other girl earlier, like I hope I didn't like offend anybody. Like that is never my intent. So if y'all could I can take bluntness. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like if y'all just say, look, you know, um whatever like she did, like Deb, she was just I like people that are forward,
yeah. She
you know,
is. Yeah,
and that will tell you where you stand with them because you don't ever have to guess. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And that's like kind of how I am. Like, and I might jump into things too quick or prejudge things too quick because, I guess it's just the walk I've been down. You know what I'm saying? And I've had to
yeah.
stand up for myself a lot in my life because I didn't have anybody really to, what I'm saying, stand up for me a lot of times.
Same.
So, you learn to kind of, I don't know, it's probably a self coping mechanism, I guess, if anything
Yeah.
else. But I did want to make sure that I made that clear because, like, that would just break my heart if I ever
Oh God, no, no,
like
no, no. You're good.
hurt anybody. But I think you're awesome, and like I really thank you,
Thank
Nikki,
you.
because I want to tell you before I get off really quick that you actually have been the only person ever to actually help me even learn how to string yard or to teach other people, how to do things like
Yeah.
because I'm so computer illiterate and I'm much older than you. Like I'm old enough to be your mom, basically. You know what I'm saying? So like, I really appreciate that because, I think that's important to like lift each other up, especially women, like try to lift each other up
Yeah.
and like promote each other and like and stand by each other when we're going through stuff. No
Yeah.
matter what our differences are, no matter what I mean, none of that stuff really matters when you get down to the bottom of who the core of a person is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So I just wanted to basically say thank you, and that I really do appreciate you as a human being and a
Thank you.
person to help me and so many other people, because I've seen you do the same thing to
Yeah,
other
I always
people,
will be like that. Always. I don't know.
and that's why good's gonna come back to you, because you can call it whatever you want, karma, reaping and sowing, whatever. You know, if you put good things out there, then eventually it might take a while, but they're gonna come back to you. They will.
Well, that'd be
And
cool.
yeah. So look forward to that anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I love you, and I appreciate being up here, and I'll see y'all another day. And like I said, sorry again, and love you guys.
Well, thank you for coming up. I appreciate it. I had a good conversation. I really enjoyed this.
All right. Well, see you later. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good
Let me
night.
figure out how to get out of here. Hold on. Tell me what to do.
Here,
What,
I'll
push
get
the
you.
thing? Okay. Thank you.
There you go. You don't even trust your husband? That makes me sad for you. Nah, you don't suck at it. If you look at my older videos, ugh, they're horrible. Your videos are actually really cool. I like how you have like the background noise and then you or the music and stuff, and just the words on the. I don't know. It's entertaining. Mine are all over the place with this fucking computer that I'm gonna throw out the window. It's pissing me off. Oh, I'm going back to my laptop. All right, I gotta get off here. I gotta get my kid in bed. He's still awake. Thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a good night, and I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. is going to be a stream I'm doing with Reverend Ruin. We're going to talk about our favorite horror movies, and we have some books and figures and stuff we wanted to show, and drawings and paintings and that. Yeah, so we'll have a fun night tomorrow night. So we'll stick with the Halloween. Sorry I didn't do anything today. I had a bitch of a day. Okay, so sorry. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Bye.